Hi everyone, welcome. I'm so excited you're here today. This is a really special reading, and I'm just thrilled to share it with you. Come on in, make yourselves comfy. This is a safe space filled with good vibes only. So today's pick a card is all about their soul's recognition of yours. Ooh, goosebumps, right? We're going to dive deep into how your connection is perceived on a soul level. Like, what does their soul truly recognize in yours? What are the whispers and echoes between your spirits? It's gonna be juicy, insightful, and maybe even a little bit magical. Okay, so let's take a peek at our piles and the beautiful crystals guiding each one. First up, we have Pile 1, featuring a raw carnelian crystal, representing flowing. This pile is all about the spark of shared journeys, like igniting a path that was already meant to be. Next, for Pile 2, we have a stunning sapphire cluster, symbolizing balancing. This one is focused on echoes of harmonious souls, finding that sweet equilibrium through deep understanding. Then for Pile 3, we've got a Selenite tower, embodying awakening. This pile is about veils lifted, hearts aligned, that crystal clear clarity that uncovers a truly deep connection. And finally, for Pile 4, we have a Hematite angel, also about balancing. But this time it's anchored in mutual respect, like building a foundation that's meant to last. So go ahead and take a nice, deep breath and just see which pile you're most drawn to. Don't overthink it. Trust your intuition. It's totally okay if you're drawn to more than one. Maybe parts of each resonate, you know? Now let's take a moment to set an intention to wish on this reading. May you receive exactly what you need to hear, and may this reading bring clarity, love, and a deeper understanding of your soul connection. And remember, this reading is timeless, so take what resonates whenever you're watching this. Alright, so if you picked the Carnelian raw crystal, this reading is for you, and Carnelian is all about flow. It's about getting things moving, and that really ties into our theme. The spark of shared journeys, igniting a path already set in motion. So, we're talking about something that's ready to just like go. Okay, first up we have the Magician. Ooh, this is exciting. The Magician is all about potential, right? Like pure potential just brimming at the surface. This card tells me that you, or the person you're thinking about, or both of you, have all the tools you need to make something happen. Like everything is there. It's not about needing anything else, it's about recognizing what you already possess. This could be skills, resources, connections. Anything, really. It's like, imagine you're a chef and you've got this incredible kitchen fully stocked with the best ingredients, all the gadgets, everything. The Magician is saying, look around, you have everything you need to create a masterpiece. The only thing missing is, like, the action, the actual doing. There has to be movement. You can't just think about the amazing dish you're going to make. You gotta start chopping vegetables, you know? Start mixing spices, get your hands dirty. And with the Carnelian being about flow, this is really emphasizing that idea of movement. It's not just about having the potential, it's about allowing that potential to flow, to manifest into something tangible. So think about what that potential could be. Is it a new business venture? A creative project? A relationship? Whatever it is, the Magician is urging you to take that first step to set things in motion. But it's also about being resourceful, you know? Like, really looking at what you do have and maximizing it. Maybe you don't have a perfect kitchen, maybe it's a little small or the oven's a little wonky, but you can still create something amazing with what you have. The Magician is all about making the most of your circumstances. It's about being clever and adaptable. Think MacGyver, right? He can make anything out of anything. That's the energy of the Magician. Now, the thing with the Magician is, it can also be a little bit trickstery. Not necessarily in a bad way, but there can be an element of illusion or manipulation. It's about knowing how to present yourself, how to sell your ideas. So you might need to put on a bit of a show, you know? Like, fake it till you make it kind of energy. But it's important to be authentic at the core, you know? Don't try to be someone you're not, just highlight your strengths and be confident in your abilities. I feel like there's definitely a message here about communication too. The Magician is often associated with Mercury, the planet of communication. So this could be about speaking your truth, expressing your ideas clearly, or maybe even learning a new skill related to communication, like public speaking or writing. Maybe you need to have a difficult conversation with someone, and the magician is giving you the confidence to do it. Or maybe you need to pitch an idea to a client or investor, and you have all the skills and charisma to nail it. It's also about being mindful of your words, you know? Words have power. The magician understands this and uses language carefully and intentionally. So be aware of what you're saying and how you're saying it. Your words can create or destroy, so choose them wisely. I'm just so excited. I feel like you're on the verge of something big here, something that you've been wanting for a long time, and the magician is saying, go for it, you've got this. And remember the Carnelian, right? Keep that flow going. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Take action even if it's just a small step. Every little bit counts. That's the key. And this is all about shared journeys, right? So maybe this isn't just about your potential, but about the potential of a partnership, a collaboration, a shared dream. The magician could be representing the initial spark that ignites a connection between two people, a shared vision that you both feel incredibly passionate about. Okay, so we have the magician, tons of potential, so let's see what comes next. Now we have the Ten of Wands. Okay, deep breath. The Ten of Wands is like the opposite of flow, almost. It's that feeling of being completely overwhelmed, of carrying too much weight, of just being absolutely burdned. You've taken on too much, you're stretched too thin, and you're about to collapse under the pressure. So after all that magician energy, all that potential, it's like, whoa, reality check. The Ten of Wands often appears when you've said yes to too many things, when you've taken on more than you can handle. It's that feeling of running around like a headless chicken, trying to juggle a million things at once and feeling like you're failing at everything. Like you started with the magician, ready to take on the world, and now you're just dragging yourself through the mud, wondering how you got here. So think about where you might be feeling this burden in your life. Is it work? Relationships? Family obligations? Are you taking care of everyone else and neglecting yourself? Are you trying to do everything perfectly and setting unrealistic expectations for yourself? Because that's a big part of it, right? The pressure we put on ourselves. I think, with the Carnelian in mind, this card is a warning about losing that flow. You started out so energized, so motivated, but now you're bogged down in the details and the responsibilities, and you've lost sight of the bigger picture. It's like you're so busy putting out fires that you don't have time to enjoy the journey, to appreciate the progress you've made. But the Ten of Wands isn't all doom and gloom, okay? It's also about completion. It means you're almost there. You're nearing the end of a cycle, and you're just carrying this burden to the finish line. So it's important to recognize that this feeling is temporary. It won't last forever. You just need to push through a little bit longer, and then you can finally put down your load and rest. The question is, what are you going to do differently next time? Because if you don't learn from this experience, you're just going to end up in the same situation again. So the Ten of Wands is a wake-up call. It's telling you to set boundaries, to delegate tasks, to say no when you need to. You can't do it all alone, and you shouldn't try to. I also feel like there's a message here about releasing control. You might be trying to micromanage everything, to be in charge of every detail, and that's just exhausting. You need to trust other people to do their part, to let go of some of the responsibility. It's so important to ask for help. Don't be afraid to reach out to friends, family, or colleagues for support. You don't have to carry this burden alone. And remember that spark of shared journeys, right? Maybe you're carrying the weight for someone else. Maybe you're taking on their responsibilities as well as your own. And that could be out of love or loyalty, but it's not sustainable in the long run. You need to have an honest conversation with that person and figure out a way to redistribute the load. Because resentment can build, and that will damage the relationship. So the Ten of Wands is a tough card for sure, but it's also a powerful one. It's teaching you valuable lessons about boundaries, delegation, and self-care. And it's reminding you that you're stronger than you think. You can get through this. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you'll eventually reach the finish line. Wow, so the magician with all the potential, leading to the Ten of Wands and all the burdens. I wonder where this will go. And finally, we have the Empress. Ah, the Empress. What a beautiful card. This is all about nurturing, abundance, and creation. It's about connecting with your feminine energy, whether you're male or female, and embracing your inner goddess. After the overwhelm of the Ten of Wands, the Empress is like a soothing balm for the soul. She represents fertility, not just in the literal sense, but also in the sense of creative potential. It's about birthing new ideas, new projects, new relationships. It's about bringing your visions to life and nurturing them with love and care. So after all that hard work, all that struggle, you're finally ready to reap the rewards. You've planted the seeds, you've watered them, and now you're watching them grow into something beautiful. Think of the Empress as Mother Earth, right? She provides everything we need to thrive. She's generous, she's abundant, and she's always there to support us. So this card is telling you to connect with nature, to spend time in the garden, to breathe in the fresh air, and to feel the earth beneath your feet. It's about grounding yourself and remembering where you came from. But the Empress is also about self-care and pampering yourself. After all that stress and overwhelm, you deserve to treat yourself. Take a long bath, get a massage, buy yourself something nice. Do whatever makes you feel good and nourishes your soul. It's so important to prioritize your well-being, especially after a period of intense effort. I feel like this card is also encouraging you to connect with your senses. To really savor the taste of your food, to appreciate the beauty of the world around you, to listen to your favorite music, and to surround yourself with things that bring you joy. It's about being present in the moment and fully experiencing the richness of life. And with the Carnelian, that flowing energy, the Empress is showing you how to create a sustainable flow of abundance in your life. It's not just about a one-time windfall, it's about creating a consistent stream of resources, both material and emotional. And to do that, you need to be in alignment with your values and living in harmony with nature. The Empress is also about relationships and nurturing your loved ones. It's about creating a safe and supportive environment for your family and friends and being there for them when they need you. But it's also about setting boundaries and not allowing yourself to be taken advantage of. Remember that Ten of Wands energy, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. So this card is a reminder to prioritize your own needs and to make sure you're taking care of yourself first so that you can then be there for others. And this connects back to the spark of shared journeys because the Empress is all about creating a beautiful and nurturing world, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. It's about building a community and supporting each other's growth and well-being. Wow, this is just so powerful. So we went from the Magician's potential to the Ten of Wands' burden, but ultimately we arrive at the Empress's abundance. It's like you have to go through the struggle to appreciate the rewards. The overwhelm is temporary, but the potential for growth and creation is limitless. Such a good card. So to recap, this is saying you're likely starting a project with limitless potential, Magician. Then feel weighed down by the responsibility, Ten of Wands. But with the help of the Empress, you'll get through it and be able to share the rewards of your journey with your loved ones. Now, let's see what card comes next to add on to all of this. Okay, so wow, the moon, huh? After the Empress, which is all like abundance and clear creation, the moon is like shrouded in mystery. It's kind of throwing a curveball, right? It's not as straightforward, that's for sure. It's like everything was coming up roses, the Empress was there, but now we're entering a phase where things aren't so clear. Things are hidden and maybe a little unsettling. I mean, look at the card, right? It's got that like nocturnal vibe, the howling dog, the crayfish crawling out of the water. It's definitely a card that speaks to the subconscious, to our dreams, to the things that aren't always visible on the surface. It's interesting, to say the least. I wonder what this means exactly for this journey. So, with the spark of shared journeys theme and Carnelian's flow energy, this makes me think that maybe there are some hidden motivations or fears within this partnership that need to be brought to light. You know, like, maybe one or both of you aren't being completely honest with yourselves or with each other about what you really want or what you're afraid of. It's like under the surface of all that potential from the magician and the abundance of the Empress, there's this unease, something lurking in the shadows, and the moon is asking you to acknowledge it, to explore it, instead of just pretending it's not there. It's like you can't really have that true flow, the Carnelian energy, if you're not being honest with yourselves about what's going on underneath the surface. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's dive deeper into what the moon actually signifies. It's all about intuition, right? It's about tapping into that inner wisdom, that gut feeling that guides us, even when we can't logically explain it. And I think, in the context of this shared journey, this is really important. Because you might be facing some decisions or some challenges where logic alone isn't enough. You need to listen to your intuition, to trust your instincts, even if they seem a little bit crazy. The moon is also connected to our dreams, both literally and figuratively. So pay attention to your dreams. They might be trying to tell you something important. And also, think about your dreams for this partnership. What do you really want to create together? What are your hopes and fears? The moon is asking you to explore these questions, to get really clear about your vision, and to identify any obstacles that might be standing in your way, even if those obstacles are hidden within your own subconscious. Yeah, okay, that's making more sense. Now, let's talk about the shadow side of the moon, because there definitely is one. This card can also represent illusion, deception, anxiety, and fear. It's like things aren't always as they seem, right? There might be hidden agendas or hidden enemies or just plain old misunderstandings. And if you're not careful, you can easily get lost in the fog of illusion and make some really bad decisions. This is where it connects back to the Ten of Wands, I think. Because that feeling of overwhelm might not just be about taking on too much responsibility. It could also be fueled by underlying anxieties, by a fear of the unknown. It's like you're carrying all that weight because you're trying to control everything, to protect yourself from some perceived threat that you can't even see clearly. Think about it, right? Are you really overwhelmed by the workload, or are you overwhelmed by the fear of failure? Or the fear of what other people will think? Or the fear of losing control? The moon is asking you to confront these fears, to shine a light on them, so you can see them for what they really are. Like sometimes our fears are just shadows. They're not real threats. They're just projections of our own insecurities. So, how do you navigate these murky waters? How do you trust your intuition when everything feels so uncertain? Well, first of all, you need to be honest with yourself, right? You need to acknowledge your fears, your doubts, your insecurities. Don't try to suppress them or pretend they're not there. Just bring them into the light and examine them. Ask yourself, where are these fears coming from? Are they based on real experiences, or are they just stories you're telling yourself? And then, start to challenge those stories. Are they really true? Are they really serving you? The moon is also about trusting your instincts, even when they don't make sense logically. This is where meditation can be really helpful, or journaling, or just spending time in nature, connecting with your inner self. Because the more you connect with your intuition, the easier it will be to discern the truth from the illusion. Your intuition is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So start practicing listening to that inner voice and trusting that it will guide you in the right direction. And remember the Carnelian, that flowing energy. Even in the face of uncertainty, it's important to stay open and adaptable. Don't get stuck in fear. Don't get paralyzed by analysis. Keep moving forward, keep exploring, keep learning. The moon is a reminder that life is full of mysteries and that we don't always have all the answers. But that's okay. That's part of the adventure. The key is to trust yourself, to trust your intuition, and to trust that you're being guided towards your highest good. And with this shared journey, maybe it's not always going to be clear sailing, right? There are going to be bumps in the road. There are going to be challenges. There are going to be times when you doubt yourselves and each other. But if you can stay connected to your intuition, if you can be honest with yourselves, and if you can keep that flow going, then you can overcome anything. The moon is really asking you to go deep, to explore those hidden aspects of yourselves and of your relationship that you might have been avoiding. And it's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be comfortable, but it's necessary for growth, for transformation, and for creating a truly authentic and fulfilling partnership. So embrace the mystery, embrace the uncertainty, and trust that you're exactly where you need to be. Okay, wow, that was intense. So we've gone from the initial spark of the magician, to the overwhelm of the Ten of Wands, to the abundance of the Empress, and now to the mystery of the moon. What does it all mean? Hopefully, the next card will shed some light on how all these hidden things will play out, and whether you can successfully navigate these emotional depths. I'm excited. Okay, so after all of that, we have the Ace of Wands. Oh my gosh. Okay, so like the Ace of Wands after the moon, that's something. It's almost like after all the hidden stuff comes out, there's this sudden burst of creation. Okay, so Ace of Wands, first of all, is like pure potential, right? Just like the magician, but instead of having all the tools, it's more like the initial spark. It's the idea, the inspiration, the zing, the thing that gets you super excited about something new. But the fact that it comes after the moon, that's what's really interesting to me. Because the moon is all about the subconscious, the hidden fears, the things we don't want to look at, right? So maybe this Ace of Wands is about finding a new passion, a new direction, after confronting those fears. Like, it's almost like you had to go through that dark night of the soul, you had to face those shadows, to finally get to this point where you're ready to create something amazing. Does that make sense? I feel like it totally does. Okay, so let's tie this back to the other cards, right? We had the Magician, all that potential, but then the Ten of Wands feeling overwhelmed. Then the Empress starting to nurture and create, but still with that moon energy lurking underneath. So the Ace of Wands could be like the next level of creation. It's like you've learned from the Ten of Wands to not take on too much. You've learned from the Empress to nurture yourself and your ideas. And now you're ready to launch something new, something exciting, something that really aligns with your soul. Or, okay, here's another possibility. Maybe the Ace of Wands is a new challenge, a new project, a new opportunity that comes along, right? But because it's coming after the moon, there's a warning there. It's like, okay, this is exciting, but don't jump into it blindly. Make sure you've really dealt with those hidden fears, those subconscious blocks, before you commit to this new thing. Because if you don't, you might just end up back in that Ten of Wands energy, feeling overwhelmed and burdened again. Like repeating the same pattern. Oh, I don't like that. But it's a real possibility. Okay, so let's think about some real-life scenarios here, right? Let's say you're working on a creative project, something you're really passionate about, and you've been feeling blocked. You've been feeling like you're not good enough, like you're going to fail. That's the moon energy, right? But then suddenly you have this breakthrough, this new idea that just sparks your creativity, that makes you feel like, yes, this is it. This is what I'm meant to be doing. That's the Ace of Wands. It's like you've finally overcome those fears and you're ready to create something amazing. Or let's say you're in a relationship and you've been having some communication issues, some hidden resentments, some things you haven't been talking about. That's also the moon, right? But then you finally have that honest conversation, you clear the air, and you realize that you both still really care about each other, and you want to make it work. And then you have this new spark of connection, this new desire to build something together, to create a stronger, more authentic relationship. That's the Ace of Wands. It's like you've faced those shadows and you're ready to start fresh, to build something beautiful. But then on the flip side, right? Let's say you're in a job that you hate, you're feeling totally unfulfilled, and you know you need to make a change. You're scared, you're worried about money, you're worried about what other people will think, but you know you can't stay there any longer. That's the moon, right? And then you get offered a new job, something that seems really exciting, really promising. That's the Ace of Wands. But if you haven't really dealt with those underlying fears, those insecurities, you might just end up in another job that's just as bad, or even worse, because you didn't really learn from your past experiences. You know what I mean? You just jumped into something new without really thinking it through. And with the shared journeys theme, this is really important, right? Because if you're not both on the same page, If you're not both being honest about your fears and your desires, then this new spark, this Ace of Wands energy, could actually create more problems than it solves. It's like you might be starting something new together, but if you haven't dealt with those underlying issues, they're just going to keep coming up again and again until you finally address them. So, communication is key here, right? Being open, being honest, being willing to face those uncomfortable truths together. Okay, so how do you make the most of this Ace of Wands energy, especially after the moon? Well, first of all, you need to acknowledge those fears, those doubts, those insecurities. Don't try to suppress them. Don't try to pretend they're not there. Just bring them into the light and examine them. Ask yourself, where are these fears coming from? Are they based on real experiences, or are they just stories you're telling yourself? And then, start to challenge those stories. Are they really true? Are they really serving you? And then, connect with that Ace of Wands energy, that spark of inspiration, that excitement about the future. What do you really want to create? What are your hopes and dreams for this shared journey? Visualize it, feel it, believe it. And then, start taking action, even if it's just small steps. Don't get overwhelmed by the big picture. Just focus on what you can do today to move closer to your goals. And remember the Carnelian, that flow. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Don't get bogged down in the details. Keep moving forward, keep creating, keep flowing. The Ace of Wands is all about new beginnings, about taking risks, about stepping outside your comfort zone. So embrace the challenge, embrace the excitement, and trust that you're being guided towards your highest good. I feel like this is a really pivotal point in the reading, you know? This Ace of Wands could really go either way, depending on how you handle it. It could be the start of something truly amazing, something that brings you joy, fulfillment, and abundance. Or it could be a repeat of past mistakes, a cycle of overwhelm and frustration. But the good news is you have the power to choose. You have the power to create your own reality. So what's it gonna be? Are you going to embrace the Ace of Wands with open arms, ready to face whatever challenges come your way? Or are you going to let those fears hold you back, keeping you stuck in the shadows? I'm so excited to see what the next card reveals, because that will really tell us which direction this is going to go in. Like, is it going to be smooth sailing from here on out, or are there still some storms on the horizon? Oh, I can't wait. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so after that Ace of Wands, that burst of energy, we have the Two of Swords. Well, that's interesting. I mean, it's not necessarily bad, but it definitely puts a pause on things, doesn't it? Like, after all that excitement, that new beginning, it's like, hold on, not so fast. The Two of Swords is all about choices, right? Difficult choices. Being at a crossroads, not really knowing which way to go. You're kind of blindfolded, you know? You can't really see clearly. And that really speaks to the moon energy we had before, right? All those hidden things, those uncertainties. It's like the Ace of Wands is presenting you with this new opportunity, this new path, but the moon is clouding your vision, and the Two of Swords is saying, okay, you need to make a decision, but you don't have all the information. You're not seeing the full picture. And with the shared journeys theme, this could mean that you and the person you're on this journey with, you have different ideas about how to move forward. You're not really seeing eye to eye. It's like you're both standing there, blindfolded, holding your swords, trying to figure out what to do, but you're not communicating effectively. And with the Carnelian, that flow. This Two of Swords energy is really blocking that flow, isn't it? Like, you can't really move forward until you make a decision, until you find some clarity. So, what does the Two of Swords mean exactly? Well, at its core, it's about being in a state of indecision. You're weighing your options, trying to figure out what's the best course of action, but you're feeling stuck. You're feeling like you don't have enough information to make a good decision. And a lot of times, this card comes up when we're avoiding making a choice because we're afraid of making the wrong one. We're afraid of the consequences. So we just kind of freeze, we stay in this state of limbo, hoping that the answer will magically appear. But it usually doesn't work that way, does it? And in a relationship, or any kind of partnership, the Two of Swords can indicate a stalemate. You're both digging your heels in, you're not willing to compromise, and you're not really listening to each other. You're so focused on your own point of view that you can't see the other person's perspective. And that can lead to a lot of tension, a lot of frustration, and a real block in the flow of the relationship. It's like you're both holding your swords up, defending yourselves, but you're not really attacking each other. You're just stuck, frozen, and that's not a good place to be. So what could be causing this blockage? What's behind this indecision, this stalemate? Well, it could be a number of things. Maybe you're afraid of hurting someone's feelings. Maybe you're afraid of rocking the boat. Maybe you're afraid of failing. Or maybe you're just overwhelmed by the options. You're looking at all the possibilities and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what if I choose the wrong one? What if I mess everything up? And that fear can be paralyzing. Or it could be that you're not really being honest with yourself. You're not really acknowledging what you truly want. You're trying to please everyone else. You're trying to do what you think you should do instead of what you want to do. And that can create a lot of inner conflict. It's like you're fighting against yourself. You're not being true to your own values. And in a shared journey, this could mean that you and your partner have different values, different goals, different visions for the future. And you're not really talking about it. You're avoiding the difficult conversations because you're afraid of what might happen. You're afraid of discovering that you're not as aligned as you thought you were. But that avoidance is just making things worse, isn't it? It's creating this wall between you, this sense of distance and disconnection. And that's why this Two of Swords is such a block to that Carnelian flow. Also, and this is important, sometimes the Two of Swords can indicate that you're simply missing some information. You're trying to make a decision without all the facts. And in that case, the best thing to do is to gather more information, to do some research, to talk to people who can offer you some guidance. But you have to be careful not to get stuck in analysis paralysis, right? You can't just keep researching forever. You have to eventually make a decision. So, how do you break through this Two of Swords energy? How do you find clarity and make a decision and get that Carnelian flow moving again? Well, the first thing you need to do is to acknowledge that you're in a state of indecision. You can't solve a problem if you don't admit that it exists. So be honest with yourself and say, okay, I'm feeling stuck. I'm not sure what to do. And then start to explore why you're feeling that way. What are your fears? What are your doubts? What are your concerns? Write them down, talk them out, get them out of your head and onto paper so you can see them more clearly. And then you need to start listening to your intuition. Remember the moon. That card is all about trusting your gut, trusting your inner wisdom. And the Two of Swords is often a sign that you're not listening to your intuition. You're too focused on logic, on reason, on what other people think you should do. You need to quiet your mind and tune into that inner voice that knows what's best for you. Meditate, spend time in nature, do whatever helps you connect with your inner self. And in a shared journey, this means having open and honest conversations with your partner, really listening to each other without judgment, without defensiveness, trying to understand each other's perspectives, even if you don't agree with them, and being willing to compromise to find a solution that works for both of you. This requires vulnerability, right? It requires being willing to show your true self, to share your fears and your dreams. And that can be scary, but it's also incredibly powerful. Because when you're truly connected with another person, you can overcome anything. Another thing with the Two of Swords is the need for balance. Swords are air signs, which mean they're all about intellect. That means you're probably spending too much time in your head. You need to get out of your head and into your body. Exercise, dance, do something physical that helps you release that mental tension. Because sometimes, the best way to find clarity is to stop thinking so much and just feel. And ultimately, this Two of Swords is a reminder that you have the power to choose. You're not a victim of circumstance. You're not trapped. You have the ability to make a decision and move forward. But you have to be willing to take responsibility for your choices. You have to be willing to accept the consequences, whatever they may be. And you have to trust that you're strong enough to handle whatever comes your way. Remember the Carnelian. You have to keep that energy flowing even when it's difficult. Wow, okay. So the Two of Swords is definitely throwing a wrench in things, isn't it? After that exciting Ace of Wands, we're now facing a difficult decision, a stalemate, a need for clarity. It's like the journey isn't going to be as smooth as we thought it would be. But that's okay, right? Because challenges are what make us stronger. So the question now is, how are you going to navigate this Two of Swords energy? What choices are you going to make? And how is this going to affect your shared journey? I have no idea, but maybe the next card will give us some clues. Okay, wow. And now we have the Ten of Cups. I'm like super excited about this. Okay, Ten of Cups. This is amazing. This card is like pure happiness, right? Like total bliss, family, harmony, dreams come true, the whole shebang. After all that, like drama with the moon and the Two of Swords. This feels like a huge sigh of relief. Phew. It's like, okay, so after all the indecision, the blockages, the hidden stuff, the Ten of Cups is saying that, you can actually achieve that, ultimate happiness that you've been dreaming of. It's totally possible. But, and this is important, it's not just gonna, magically appear. You have to, work for it, right? You have to make those tough choices, face those fears, and, really commit to creating that happy ending. Okay, so let's break this down a bit, right? So the Ten of Cups is all about emotional fulfillment, right? It's about feeling completely content and satisfied with your life, with your relationships, with your everything. It's that feeling of yes, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And with the shared journeys theme, this is huge, right? Because it means that, you and the person you're on this journey with, you can actually create this, amazing, fulfilling life together. A real, genuine soulmate connection. How exciting is that? But remember the Two of Swords, right? That indecision, that blockage. Well, the Ten of Cups is saying that, you can't just ignore those problems. You can't just pretend that everything is perfect when it's not. You have to actually address those issues, communicate openly, and, really work together to create that harmonious environment. It's not about, sunshine and rainbows all the time, right? It's about facing the storms together and coming out stronger on the other side. And also, remember the moon, right? All those hidden things, those fears, those insecurities. Well, the Ten of Cups is saying that, you have to be willing to be vulnerable, to be open and honest with each other, to really share your hearts and souls. You can't build a truly happy relationship on secrets and lies, right? You have to be willing to be real, to be authentic, to be yourselves, completely and utterly. I feel with the Carnelian in mind, it's about letting the love flow. Not forcing it, not controlling it, but just letting it be. And remember the Ace of Wands, that spark of inspiration. The Ten of Cups is what happens when you actually nurture that spark and let it grow into something beautiful. It's you took that initial idea, that initial excitement, and you turned it into a real, tangible reality. You actually created something amazing together. Okay, so what does this actually look like in real life, right? Let's say you're working on a business venture with someone, right? And you've been having some disagreements, some power struggles, some moments where you're I don't know if I can do this anymore. That's the Two of Swords, right? But if you're willing to communicate openly, to compromise, to really listen to each other's ideas, you can actually create something amazing together, something that's way bigger and better than you could have ever done on your own. That's the Ten of Cups. It's you're not just building a business, you're building a partnership, a friendship, a shared vision for the future. Or let's say you're in a romantic relationship, and you've been having some issues with communication, with intimacy, with feeling truly connected. That's the moon and the Two of Swords, right? But if you're willing to be vulnerable, to share your fears and your insecurities, to really open your heart to each other, you can actually create this, amazing, deep, fulfilling love. That's the Ten of Cups. It's you're not just building a relationship, you're building a family, a home, a safe and supportive space where you can both be yourselves completely and utterly. But, and this is super important, the Ten of Cups isn't just about romantic relationships, right? It can also be about family, about friendships, about community. It's about creating those, deep, meaningful connections with the people around you, those relationships that truly nourish your soul. It's about being surrounded by people who love you, who support you, who believe in you, and who make you feel like you can conquer the world. And I feel like, with this shared journey, it is likely about finding that community, finding those people who support you, finding your tribe. But remember that this card is about emotional fulfillment, right? So it's not just about having a lot of friends or a big family. It's about having those deep, meaningful connections that really matter. It's about being surrounded by people who truly get you, who understand you, who love you for who you are, not for who you pretend to be. It's about feeling truly seen, truly heard, truly valued. I feel like it is likely that you are seeking this feeling. But okay, let's talk about the shadow side of the Ten of Cups, because there is one. This card can sometimes indicate a unrealistic expectation of happiness. It's like you're so focused on creating this perfect life, this perfect relationship, this perfect family, that you're actually missing out on the joy of the present moment. You're so busy trying to achieve this ideal that you're not really appreciating what you already have. And that can actually create a lot of stress and anxiety, right? It's like you're constantly striving for something that's just out of reach, and you're never really satisfied. So it's important to remember that the Ten of Cups isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about striving to create a better life, a better relationship, a better world, but also appreciating the journey along the way. It's about being grateful for what you have, and not just focusing on what you lack. It's about finding joy in the simple things, in the everyday moments, in the connections that you already have. I also feel like, sometimes, the Ten of Cups can indicate a fear of losing that happiness, right? It's like you're so afraid of things falling apart, of the dream ending, that you're actually holding on too tight. You're trying to control everything, to prevent anything bad from happening. And that can actually stifle the relationship, right? It can create a sense of pressure, of expectation, of not being able to be yourself. So, it's important to remember that everything changes, right? Life is a constant flow of ups and downs, of joys and sorrows, of beginnings and endings. And the key is to embrace that flow, to accept the changes, to trust that everything is happening for a reason. You can't control everything, you can't prevent everything bad from happening, but you can choose how you respond to it. You can choose to focus on the positive, to learn from the negative, and to keep moving forward with love and compassion in your heart. So, how do you actually create this Ten of Cups energy in your life, right? How do you cultivate that happiness, that harmony, that emotional fulfillment? Well, the first thing is to be clear about what you actually want. What does happiness mean to you? What does a fulfilling relationship look like to you? What are your values, your goals, your dreams? Once you know what you want, you can start taking steps to create it. It's not about, waiting for happiness to find you. It's about actively creating it in your life. And that means making choices that align with your values, setting goals that inspire you, and building relationships that nourish your soul. It also means being willing to be vulnerable, to be open, to be honest with yourself and with others. Share your feelings, your fears, your dreams. Don't be afraid to be yourself completely and utterly. And with this shared journey, the most important thing is communication. Be open and honest with each other. Listen to each other's needs and concerns, and be willing to compromise to find solutions that work for both of you. You're a team. Remember the Carnelian, right? Keep that flow going. Don't let the little things get in the way of the big picture. Remember why you started this journey together in the first place. What are your shared values, your shared goals, your shared dreams? Focus on those things and let them guide you. The Ten of Cups is, such a beautiful card, right? It's a reminder that happiness is possible, that dreams can come true, that love can conquer all. But it's also a reminder that it takes work, that it takes effort, that it takes commitment. It's not about waiting for the fairy tale to begin, it's about creating your own fairy tale, one day at a time. The Ten of Cups after that Two of Swords seems like things could work out, but not without working through some stuff. It is almost as if you need to work through the Two of Swords to get to the Ten of Cups. I wonder what the next card will be. Okay, so after all of that, we have the Fool. Oh my gosh, this is so perfect. I'm actually getting chills right now. The Fool, wow. Okay, so the Fool is all about new beginnings, right? It's about like taking a leap of faith, stepping into the unknown without any guarantees, without any like safety net. It's about trusting the universe, trusting yourself, and just like going for it. It's that feeling of like, okay, I don't know where this is going to lead, but I'm ready to find out. And it's exciting, right? It's exhilarating. It's like you're standing at the edge of a cliff and you know you have to jump, even though you're terrified. You know, like what's on the other side. But that's what makes it so amazing, right? The potential for something incredible. Okay, so what does this all mean, right? After everything we've talked about in this reading? Well, let's think about it. We started with the Magician, right? That spark of potential, all those tools at your disposal. And then we had the Ten of Wands, feeling overwhelmed by all the responsibilities, all the burdens. Then the Empress, nurturing those creative ideas, bringing them to life. Then the Moon, with all those hidden fears and insecurities lurking beneath the surface. Then the Ace of Wands, that new burst of energy, that new spark of inspiration. And then the Two of Swords, that difficult decision, that feeling of being stuck. And finally, the Ten of Cups, that promise of emotional fulfillment, that dream of happily ever after. So the Fool is like the culmination of all of that, right? It's like you've gone through this whole journey, you've faced all these challenges, you've learned all these lessons, and now you're ready to take that leap of faith, to step into the unknown, to embrace the next chapter of your life. It's like you've prepared yourself, you've gathered your resources, you've faced your fears, and now it's time to just go. You know, like, trust that everything is going to work out, even if you don't know how. And with that shared journey, I am getting that the challenges you have faced were faced together. I feel like the important thing to remember with the Fool is that it's not about being reckless, right? It's not about just blindly jumping into something without thinking it through. It's about being courageous, about being open to new experiences, about trusting your intuition, but also about being prepared. It's like you've done your research, you've weighed your options, you've considered the risks, and now you're making a conscious decision to move forward, even though there are no guarantees. It's so exciting, isn't it? And with the Carnelian, that flowing energy, it's like you're finally surrendering to the flow of life. You're letting go of control, you're trusting the universe to guide you, and you're embracing the adventure wherever it may lead. You're literally saying, okay, universe, I'm ready. Show me what you've got. Which, like, what could be more empowering than that, right? Wow. Okay, but let's talk about the shadow side of the Fool, because there is one, right? The Fool can also represent naivety, recklessness, and a lack of planning. It's like you're so caught up in the excitement of the moment that you're not really thinking about the consequences of your actions. You're just jumping into things without any preparation, without any consideration for the risks involved. And that can lead to some serious problems, right? You could end up making some really bad decisions, hurting yourself or others, and ultimately derailing your journey. So, how do you avoid that, right? How do you make sure you're not being a reckless fool, but a courageous one? Well, I think it comes back to that balance between intuition and preparation. You need to trust your gut. You need to listen to that inner voice that's guiding you. But you also need to do your homework. You need to gather information. You need to weigh your options. You can't just rely on blind faith alone. And with the shared journeys theme, I feel like this is about trusting each other too. You need to be honest with each other about your fears, your doubts, your concerns. You need to support each other, encourage each other, and hold each other accountable. You can't just blindly follow each other off a cliff. Okay, so let's think about some real-life examples, right? Let's say you're considering starting a new business. The Fool could be saying, go for it. You've got the skills, you've got the passion, you've got the drive. Just take that leap of faith and see what happens. But it could also be saying, hold on a second. Have you done your market research? Have you created a business plan? Have you secured funding? Don't just quit your job and jump into this without any preparation. Or, let's say you're considering moving to a new city. The Fool could be saying, yes, adventure awaits, explore new horizons, meet new people, embrace the unknown. But it could also be saying, wait a minute, do you have a job lined up? Do you have a place to live? Do you know anyone in this city? Don't just pack your bags and leave without any planning. I really hope you know people. Or let's say you're considering entering a new relationship. The Fool could be saying, yes, open your heart, be vulnerable, fall in love, embrace the possibility of a soulmate connection. But it could also be saying, hold on. Do you really know this person? Are they trustworthy? Are they emotionally available? Don't just jump into bed with the first person who shows you attention. So true, right? Do you see what I mean? The Fool is all about potential, about possibility, about new beginnings. But it's also about responsibility, about awareness, about making conscious choices. It's not about being naive, it's about being courageous. It's about trusting yourself, but also about doing your homework. It's about embracing the unknown, but also about being prepared for whatever may come your way. So, how do you harness this Fool energy in a positive way, right? How do you take that leap of faith without being reckless? How do you trust the universe without being naive? Well, I think it starts with self-awareness. You need to really know yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your fears, your desires. You need to be honest with yourself about what you want and what you're willing to do to get it. And then you need to listen to your intuition, that inner voice that's always guiding you, even when you don't realize it. The moon was all about this. The more you connect with your intuition, the easier it will be to make decisions, to trust your gut, to know when to take a risk and when to play it safe. And then, you need to be open to new experiences. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone, to try new things, to meet new people. The more you expose yourself to new possibilities, the more opportunities will come your way. And finally, you need to trust the process. You need to believe that everything is happening for a reason, that even the challenges and setbacks are part of the journey. You can't control everything, you can't predict the future, but you can always choose how you respond to what life throws your way. Embrace the flow. And that's where the Carnelian comes in, right? That flowing energy, that sense of momentum. It's about letting go of control, trusting the universe, and embracing the adventure wherever it may lead. It's about surrendering to the flow and knowing that everything is going to be okay, even if you don't know how. Okay, wow, so the Fool. What a perfect card to end this reading, right? After all the ups and downs, all the twists and turns, all the challenges and triumphs, you're finally ready to take that leap of faith, to step into the unknown, to embrace the next chapter of your life. And you're not doing it blindly, you're doing it with courage, with awareness, with trust. You've learned so much, you've grown so much, and now you're ready to soar. Remember that spark of shared journeys, right? You're not alone on this adventure. You have the support of your loved ones, the guidance of your intuition, and the power of the universe behind you. So go for it. Take that leap. Embrace the unknown. Trust yourself. And remember to enjoy the journey along the way. You've got this. I really believe that. You are ready for this new beginning, this new adventure, this new chapter of your life. Go out there and make it amazing. You've so got this. It is going to be so amazing. I just know. Okay, so Sapphire cluster, right? Balancing. Echoes of harmonious souls, finding equilibrium through understanding. That's what we're working with today, which is so cool because I'm already seeing that play out in these cards. So get ready because this is going to be good. Okay, all right, so Knight of Swords, High Priestess, and the Empress. Wow. Okay, my initial read on this, before even diving in, is that this is about recognizing a soul connection that's going to require both decisive action and deep intuition to fully manifest into something beautiful and nurturing. It's like the Knight is the initial spark, that feeling of knowing someone. The High Priestess is the inner guidance that helps you navigate the unknown, and the Empress. She's the ultimate potential of that union. This is about soul recognition leading to, real, tangible creation. Are you ready for this? I'm so ready for this. Let's start with the Knight of Swords because, he's kind of like the headline here. So, the Knight of Swords. He's all about, charging forward, right? He sees his goal and he just goes for it. He's very intellectual, very quick-witted, but sometimes he can be a little impulsive. He might not always think things through completely before acting. But in the context of soul recognition, I feel like this Knight represents that initial, almost electric feeling of meeting someone, and just knowing that there's a connection. It's that instant spark, that feeling of, wow, I need to know this person. You know, it's like your mind is racing, trying to figure them out, trying to understand why you feel this pull. He's the part of you that's like, okay, I'm going to analyze this. I'm going to figure out what this connection is all about, and I'm going to pursue it. But here's the thing, and this is super important, the Knight of Swords isn't always the most sensitive, shall we say. He can be so focused on his own ideas and his own goals that he might not always be the best at reading the room or understanding the other person's perspective. He might come on a little strong. So, think about it. Have you recently met someone who just, swept you off your feet with their energy and their ideas? Someone who made you feel instantly seen and understood, but maybe also a little overwhelmed? Because that's the Knight of Swords energy. It's exciting, it's invigorating, but it can also be a bit intense. This could also represent you, showing up in this person's life, right? You could be the knight, coming in with all that energy. So it's like, are you the one recognizing the soul connection, or are you the one being recognized? It could honestly go either way, or maybe even both. How cool is that? And with the Sapphire's balancing energy, it's so important to remember that the Knight of Swords needs to be tempered with patience and understanding. He needs to learn to listen, to observe, and to really connect with the other person on a deeper level, rather than just charging ahead with his own agenda. You know, he needs to, check himself before he wrecks himself, haha. So yeah, the Knight of Swords is that initial spark of recognition, but it's just the beginning. He's the first clue in the mystery, the first echo of a harmonious soul. Okay, so now we move on to the High Priestess, and oh my gosh, this is where things get really interesting. Because the High Priestess, she's all about intuition, mystery, and the subconscious. She's the keeper of hidden knowledge, the one who sees beyond the surface. She's not about taking action like the knight. Instead, she's all about, going inward, listening to your inner voice and trusting your gut. She sits with the unknown. So, in the context of this soul recognition reading, the High Priestess is telling you to, really pay attention to your intuition, to listen to those subtle whispers that are guiding you. Because, the Knight of Swords might be all about the intellectual connection, but the High Priestess is about the soul connection. She's about recognizing that deeper resonance, that feeling of having known this person before, even if you've just met them. Have you felt that before? It's crazy. She's also about understanding that not everything can be explained logically. Sometimes you just know something, and you have to trust that knowing, even if it doesn't make sense on the surface. The High Priestess is asking you to, embrace the mystery of this connection, to be open to the possibilities, and to trust that the universe is guiding you. But here's the thing. The High Priestess isn't always the easiest energy to work with, because she requires you to be still, to be patient, and to be willing to confront your own shadows. She's asking you to look within yourself, to understand your own motivations and your own fears before you can truly understand this connection. And that can be, really challenging. Are you up for that challenge? I think you are. So, think about it. Are you allowing yourself to truly feel into this connection, or are you getting caught up in your head, trying to analyze everything? Are you trusting your intuition, or are you dismissing it because it doesn't make sense? The High Priestess is urging you to, surrender to the unknown, to trust that you are being guided, and to allow this connection to unfold in its own time. She's also saying that secrets could be revealed, yeah. Things you didn't know about the situation or even about yourself. And with the Sapphire's balancing energy, it's so important to remember that the High Priestess needs to be balanced with action and expression. You can't just stay in your head forever, analyzing and intuiting. At some point, you have to take what you've learned and put it into practice. Which brings us to the Empress. Dun dun dun. Okay, so the Empress. She is the ultimate Earth Mother, right? She's all about nurturing, abundance, creation, and beauty. She represents the full flowering of potential, the manifestation of dreams into reality. So, in the context of this soul recognition reading, the Empress is showing you the potential of this connection. She's showing you what can happen if you combine the Knight of Swords' passion with the High Priestess's intuition. She's the tangible result, the beautiful creation that comes from honoring that soul connection. The Empress is about, creating a loving and supportive environment, both for yourself and for the other person. She's about nurturing the seeds of this connection and allowing it to grow into something beautiful and lasting. This could mean, creating a family, starting a business together, or simply deepening your emotional bond. Whatever it is, the Empress is telling you that this connection has the potential to bring great joy and abundance into your life. But here's the thing. The Empress isn't just about, rainbows and unicorns, right? She also represents the hard work and dedication that it takes to create something meaningful. She's about, setting boundaries, nurturing your own needs, and making sure that you're not giving too much of yourself away. The Empress knows that in order to create abundance, you have to first take care of yourself. Self-care is so important. So, think about it. What does the Empress look like in your life? What kind of beauty and abundance are you creating? Are you nurturing your own needs, or are you neglecting yourself in the process? The Empress is urging you to, embrace your creativity, to connect with your sensuality, and to create a life that is both beautiful and fulfilling. She's also saying, hey, don't forget to enjoy the ride. Enjoy the process of creation. And with the Sapphire's balancing energy, it's so important to remember that the Empress needs to be balanced with intellect and intuition. You can't just blindly create without thinking things through, and you can't just rely on your emotions without listening to your inner voice. The Empress needs to be grounded in reality and guided by wisdom. See how it all connects? So, okay, let's bring it all together because this is where the magic really happens. So, we've got the Knight of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Empress. This is a journey, right? It starts with that initial spark of recognition, the Knight of Swords charging in, making you feel seen and understood. Then, you have to go inward, listen to your intuition, and trust that you are being guided, the High Priestess showing you the way. And finally, you have the potential to create something beautiful and lasting, the Empress manifesting your dreams into reality. This is a full circle moment, right? But here's the thing, this isn't a linear process. It's not like you just go from the Knight to the High Priestess to the Empress and then you're done. It's more like a dance, a constant interplay between action, intuition, and creation. Sometimes you'll need to charge forward like the Knight, sometimes you'll need to retreat and listen like the High Priestess, and sometimes you'll need to nurture and create like the Empress. It's all about finding that balance, that equilibrium, that harmonious flow. And the Sapphire is totally supporting you in that process. This reading is telling you that you are on the verge of recognizing a soul connection that has the potential to bring great joy and abundance into your life. But it's also telling you that it's going to require both courage and vulnerability, both action and intuition, both intellect and emotion. It's going to require you to trust yourself, to trust the universe, and to trust the process. And honestly, I think you're ready for it. I think you have everything you need to navigate this journey, to embrace the mystery, and to create something truly beautiful. So, go forth and create. Go forth and connect. And go forth and trust that you are exactly where you need to be, Okay. So, where were we? Yeah, the Empress, right? Manifesting your dreams into reality and just enjoying the process. But, what happens after the Empress? What's the next step in this journey of soul recognition? Well, my friend, that's where the Lovers card comes in. Boom, the Lovers, oh my God. This card is so much more than just romantic love, It's about choices. It's about partnerships. It's about aligning your values with your soul's purpose. And it's about recognizing that, sometimes, the most important decisions we make are the ones that require us to choose between two seemingly good paths. So think about it. We've got the Knight of Swords charging in with all that energy, the High Priestess guiding you with her intuition, and the Empress showing you the potential for creation. And now, the Lovers is asking you, okay, so what are you going to do with all of that? Are you going to fully commit to this connection? Are you going to choose to nurture it and grow it? Or are you going to choose a different path, one that might be more aligned with your own individual needs and desires? Whoa. It's like the Knight of Swords is the initial attraction, right? That feeling of, oh my God, I need this person in my life. And the High Priestess is the deeper connection, that sense of knowing them on a soul level. And the Empress is the potential for building something amazing together. But the Lovers is the conscious choice to actually do it, to take that leap of faith to say, yes, I'm all in. I'm choosing this person, this path, this future. Or, maybe saying, actually, this isn't right for me. I need to choose something different. And with that Sapphire cluster energy we have, that need for balance, the Lover's card, I think, is really about finding equilibrium within yourself, first and foremost. It's about making sure that you're not sacrificing your own values or needs in order to be with someone else. It's about finding a partnership that is truly mutually supportive and fulfilling. Because, a soul connection isn't just about feeling good. It's about challenging each other to grow, to evolve, and to become the best versions of yourselves. Like, the work that's required. But here's the thing, though. The Lover's card can also represent a difficult choice, right? Like maybe you're feeling torn between two different paths or two different people. Maybe you're struggling to figure out what you truly want or what's truly best for you. And that's okay. It's okay to feel confused, to feel uncertain. The important thing is to not rush into a decision, but to take the time to really listen to your intuition, to connect with your values, and to make a choice that feels authentic and aligned with your soul. Maybe you're at a crossroads in your life, and you're being asked to choose between two different directions, or to make a decision that will have a significant impact on your future. This card could be highlighting that internal conflict, urging you to carefully consider your options and make a choice that aligns with your truest self. So it can be stressful, or maybe you're in a situation where you're feeling pulled in two different directions, and you're struggling to find a way to balance your needs with the needs of others. The Lover's card could be a reminder to prioritize your own well-being and to make choices that support your overall happiness and fulfillment. I feel like this is where it could get juicy. But let's bring it back to the soul recognition thing, because that's what we're really here for, right? So, the Lover's card can also represent the recognition of a soulmate connection, a partnership that is divinely guided and destined to be. This could be a romantic relationship, but it could also be a close friendship, a business partnership, or any other kind of connection where you feel a deep sense of resonance and alignment with another person. It could also signify being aligned to your soul's purpose. I think the Lover's card is about recognizing that this person or this path is not just someone you're attracted to or someone you feel good around, but someone who truly understands you, who supports your dreams, and who challenges you to grow. It's about finding someone who sees you for who you truly are and who loves you unconditionally, flaws and all, so you can show up authentically. But, and this is a big but, the Lover's card can also be a warning, right? It can be a sign that you're being tempted by something that isn't truly good for you. Maybe you're being drawn to a relationship that is based on lust or infatuation, rather than true love and connection. Maybe you're being tempted to make a decision that is driven by ego or fear, rather than by your soul's purpose. It can be so tricky to navigate, because the Knight of Swords is about ego and charging forward. Are you maybe getting too excited? I think this card is about being really honest with yourself about your motivations, about your needs, and about your values. It's about making sure that you're not sacrificing your own well-being in order to be with someone else or to achieve a certain goal. It's about recognizing that true love and true partnership are based on mutual respect, trust, and understanding. This resonates so strongly with the Sapphire's balancing energy. It's all coming together. So, think about it. Are you feeling drawn to someone or something that is truly aligned with your soul's purpose? Are you making choices that are based on love and integrity? Or are you being tempted by something that is ultimately going to lead you astray? This could even be connected to a job opportunity or a big move. It could be so many things. The Lover's card is urging you to be mindful, to be discerning, and to make choices that are in alignment with your highest good. It's also about remembering that you always have a choice, right? You're not a victim of fate. You have the power to create your own reality, to choose your own path, and to manifest your own dreams. I truly think you're on your way. And like with the Sapphire's balancing energy, it's so important to remember that the Lover's card needs to be balanced with self-love and self-respect. You can't truly love someone else until you truly love yourself. You can't truly commit to a partnership until you're truly committed to your own growth and well-being. So yeah, the Lover's card. It's about choices, it's about partnerships, it's about aligning your values with your soul's purpose. But it's also about self-love, self-respect, and finding equilibrium within yourself. It's about recognizing that true love is not just about feeling good, but about challenging each other to grow and to become the best versions of yourselves. Oh my God, I'm feeling this so much right now. And bringing it back to our original cards, the Knight of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Empress. The Lover's card is the culmination of all of that, It's the conscious choice to take the energy of the Knight, the intuition of the High Priestess, and the creative power of the Empress, and to use them to build something truly beautiful and lasting. Or, to choose a different path altogether. It all depends on what feels right for you. Maybe the Knight of Swords represents two different people coming into your life, and the Lovers is about choosing which one to pursue. Or maybe the High Priestess is showing you two different paths you could take, and the Lovers is about deciding which one is most aligned with your soul. Or maybe the Empress is offering you two different creative opportunities, and the Lovers is about choosing which one to invest your energy in. So many choices, I think that this card is asking you to really tune into your intuition, to really connect with your values, and to really listen to your heart. What is it that you truly want? What is it that you truly need? What is it that you truly believe in? The answers to these questions will guide you towards the right choice. It's also important to remember that, sometimes, the most difficult choices are the ones that lead to the greatest growth, Maybe choosing the wrong path will teach you valuable lessons, or lead you to discover hidden strengths within yourself. Or maybe choosing the right path will challenge you to step outside of your comfort zone, or to confront your deepest fears. I can't even tell you how many times I've experienced that. No matter what happens, the Lover's card is reminding you that you are always supported, you are always loved, and you are always capable of making the right choices for yourself. You just have to trust yourself, trust the universe, and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it's meant to be. Okay, so, where do we go from here? What's the next step in this journey? What other surprises does the universe have in store for you? I am so excited to find out. Ooh, oh my goodness. Okay, so where were we? Right, the Lovers, making choices, aligning with your soul's purpose. But what happens when those choices are shrouded in mystery? Get ready, because the next card is the Moon. Yes, the Moon. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Okay, so the Moon in general is all about illusion, right? It's about the subconscious. It's about things that are hidden from view. It's about the shadowy side of life, the things that we don't always want to acknowledge. It's what's lurking beneath the surface, It's that feeling of unease, that sense that things might not be as they seem. So how does this connect to the Lovers, right? Well, the Lovers is all about making choices, but what if you don't have all the information? What if you're making a choice based on incomplete or misleading information? What if you're not seeing the whole picture? That's where the Moon comes in, because it's shining a light on all the hidden stuff, all the things that could be influencing your decision without you even realizing it. It's saying, hey, before you commit to this, before you make this choice, you need to take a closer look. You need to dig a little deeper. You need to see what's really going on here. This is getting so good. Are you ready for this? Think about it. The Lovers is about aligning your values with your soul's purpose, but what if you're not even sure what your values are? What if you're not clear on what your soul's purpose is? The Moon can represent that confusion, that lack of clarity. It can be a sign that you need to spend some time in introspection, to really get to know yourself better before you can make any big decisions. It's about understanding your shadows, your fears, your insecurities. It's about facing those things head-on so that they don't sabotage your choices. This might be, heavy, but it's so needed. And with the Sapphire's balancing energy, the moon is really emphasizing the need for emotional equilibrium. It's about not letting your fears or your insecurities dictate your choices, but also not ignoring them altogether. It's about finding a balance between your conscious and subconscious mind so that you can make decisions that are truly aligned with your highest good. But here's where it gets really interesting, right? The moon can also represent deception. Maybe someone is intentionally trying to mislead you. Maybe they're not being honest with you about their intentions or their feelings. Maybe they're hiding something from you. The moon is warning, warning, be careful who you trust. It's not necessarily saying that someone is definitely lying to you, but it's definitely urging you to be cautious, to be observant, and to trust your gut. Is your gut, screaming right now? Or even more subtly, maybe you're deceiving yourself, Maybe you're not being honest with yourself about what you really want or what you're really feeling. Maybe you're clinging to an illusion because it's easier than facing the truth. The moon is hey, wake up. It's time to get real with yourself. It's a call to authenticity, a call to honesty, a call to self-awareness. Think back to the Knight of Swords, right? Charging in with all that energy, all that passion. The moon is saying, hold on a second. Is that passion based on reality or is it based on an illusion? Are you seeing this person for who they really are, or are you projecting your own fantasies onto them? It's a reality check, a wake-up call. It's saying, don't let your desires blind you to the truth. Maybe you're so eager to find a soul connection that you're ignoring red flags, Or maybe you're so afraid of being alone that you're settling for less than you deserve. The moon is urging you to be honest with yourself about your motivations and to make sure that you're not making choices out of fear or desperation. And then, the High Priestess, right? All about intuition and inner knowing. The moon is saying, okay, you're tapping into your intuition, but are you sure you're interpreting it correctly? Are you sure you're not letting your emotions cloud your judgment? It's a reminder that intuition isn't always clear-cut. It's not always easy to understand. Sometimes it can be murky, it can be confusing, it can be influenced by our own biases and fears. The High Priestess is all about trusting your gut, but the moon is saying, okay, trust your gut, but also double-check your sources. Make sure you're not being led astray by wishful thinking or by someone else's agenda. It's about being discerning, about being critical, about not taking anything at face value. You have to really, really tune in. The moon is also super connected to your dreams, right? Literally the dreams you have when you're sleeping. Your subconscious is trying to tell you something. It's sending you messages in the form of symbols and metaphors. The moon is urging you to pay attention to your dreams, to try to decipher their meaning, because they might hold clues about the choices you're facing, about the illusions that are clouding your judgment. Start a dream journal. It's kind of scary, right? This card is so intense, but in a good way. It's forcing you to confront your fears, to face your shadows, to get real with yourself. It's challenging you to step outside of your comfort zone, to explore the hidden depths of your own psyche. And that's where the real growth happens, right? When you're willing to go there, when you're willing to face the darkness, that's when you can truly transform your life. So bringing it back to the Empress, right? The ultimate Earth Mother, the symbol of creation and abundance. The moon is saying, okay, you're creating something beautiful, but is it built on a solid foundation? Are you sure you're not building your dreams on sand? It's a reminder that true abundance comes from within, from a place of self-awareness, self-love, and authenticity. It's about creating a life that is aligned with your soul's purpose, not just with your ego's desires, because the ego can be so misleading. The moon is urging you to be mindful of your emotions, to pay attention to your intuition, and to be honest with yourself about your motivations. It's saying, don't let your fears or your insecurities sabotage your success. Don't let your desires blind you to the truth. It's about finding that balance, that equilibrium, that harmonious flow that the Sapphire is all about. And again, I cannot emphasize how important self-care is. You can't see through the illusions if you're running on empty. So, where does this leave you, right? With the Knight of Swords, High Priestess, Empress, and the Lovers all in the mix. The moon is adding a layer of complexity, a layer of mystery, a layer of uncertainty. It's saying that the path forward isn't always clear, that there might be hidden obstacles, hidden agendas, hidden truths that you need to uncover. It's challenging you to trust your intuition, to be honest with yourself, and to be willing to face your fears. It's reminding you that true love and true partnership are based on authenticity, on vulnerability, on a willingness to see each other for who you really are, flaws and all. But what does it all mean? Are you being deceived? Are you deceiving yourself? Is this soul connection real, or is it just an illusion? I can't tell you for sure, but I can tell you that the moon is urging you to proceed with caution, to trust your gut, and to be open to the possibility that things might not be as they seem. It can be scary. What is hidden? Is it something about them? Is it something about you? Is it something about the situation? Oh my goodness. I am on the edge of my seat right now. And with the Sapphire's balancing energy, I feel like you have the strength and the wisdom to navigate these murky waters, to uncover the truth, and to make choices that are aligned with your highest good. So, what's the next step? What's the final piece of the puzzle? What card is going to reveal the ultimate truth about this soul connection? Oh my gosh, I can't wait to find out. Are you ready? Because I am so ready. Okay, so where were we? I'm so excited. With all this hidden stuff and the question of what's real and what's illusion. Are we being deceived, or are we deceiving ourselves? What even is this soul connection? Okay, are you ready? Because the next card, oh my goodness, is death. Yes, death. Okay, before you freak out, seriously, just breathe, because death isn't always about, literal death. Most of the time, it's not. It's about endings, yeah, but it's about transformations, too. It's about the end of a cycle and the beginning of something new. It's a clearing away of the old to make space for the new, think of it as a shedding of skin, a letting go of what no longer serves you so that you can grow and evolve. It's a rebirth. So, okay, in the context of this soul recognition reading, with the Knight of Swords, High Priestess, Empress, and the Lovers, death is saying that something has to end in order for this connection to move forward. Ooh, whoa. It could be an old pattern, a limiting belief, a toxic relationship, whatever. But something has to die so that something new can be born. Think about it. The Knight of Swords is all about charging forward, right? But what if he's charging in the wrong direction? What if he's clinging to an outdated idea or a flawed strategy? Death is saying, okay, Knight, it's time to let go of that. It's time to reevaluate your approach and find a new path. It's maybe the initial excitement and passion need to transform into something more sustainable, more grounded. Maybe the Knight needs to shed his impulsiveness and embrace a more thoughtful, patient approach. That makes so much sense. And then, the High Priestess, with all her intuition and inner knowing. Death could be signaling the end of a period of uncertainty or confusion. Maybe the illusions and deceptions that were highlighted by the moon are finally being revealed, allowing the High Priestess to see things more clearly. It's the fog is lifting, and she can finally trust her intuition again. So this transformation is good and necessary. I am so relieved. Or maybe death is representing the end of a chapter in your spiritual journey. Maybe you've learned all you can from a particular teacher or practice, and it's time to move on to something new. It's you're graduating to a new level of understanding, and you need to let go of the old ways in order to embrace the new. Then, the Empress, right? All about creation and abundance. Death could be indicating the end of a creative project or a period of growth. Maybe you've poured your heart and soul into something, and it's reached its natural conclusion. It's time to let it go and move on to the next adventure. Think of, seasons, right? You can't stay in summer forever. Fall has to happen. Or maybe death is representing the end of a particular way of nurturing yourself or others. Maybe you've been giving too much and neglecting your own needs. It's time to set some boundaries, to prioritize your own well-being, and to create a more balanced and sustainable lifestyle. Self-care, so important. And the lovers making choices, aligning with your soul's purpose. Death is saying that a choice has to be made, even if it's a difficult one. Maybe you need to end a relationship that's no longer serving you, or let go of a dream that's not aligned with your true self. Or maybe you need to make a radical change in your life in order to align with your soul's purpose. This card can also represent the need for a relationship to die in its current form in order to be rebirthed into something better. It's so intense. It's like you've been standing at a crossroads and death is pushing you to finally make a decision. It's time to cut ties with the past, to embrace the unknown, and to step into your future. This reminds me of that saying, when one door closes, another one opens. So true. And then the moon, all about illusions and hidden truths. Death is shining a light on those illusions, revealing what's real and what's not. Maybe you've been clinging to a false hope or a distorted perception of reality. Death is helping you to see things more clearly, to let go of the fantasy, and to embrace the truth, even if it's painful. Yes. Or maybe death is representing the end of a period of deception. Maybe someone has been lying to you or manipulating you, and their true colors are finally being revealed. It's time to cut ties with that person, to protect yourself from further harm, and to move on with your life. Again, those boundaries are so key. So, what does all this mean for your soul connection, right? Well, death could be indicating that this connection is about to undergo a major transformation. Maybe the initial spark of excitement is fading, and you're entering a new phase of deeper intimacy and commitment. This could be where the actual work of a relationship begins. This is the part that's not always easy, but ultimately so rewarding. Or maybe death is representing the end of a superficial connection. Maybe you've been drawn to this person for all the wrong reasons, and it's time to let go and move on. It's like you thought this was a soulmate connection, but it turns out it was just a karmic lesson. Oh my gosh, I've been there. So painful. But then you learn and you grow. Or maybe death is signaling the need for a radical change in the way you relate to this person. Maybe you need to communicate more openly, to set healthier boundaries, or to address unresolved issues from the past. It's like you can't keep doing things the same way and expect different results. You have to be willing to transform your relationship in order for it to thrive. But here's the thing, right? Death isn't just about endings. It's about new beginnings, too. It's about the potential for growth, transformation, and rebirth. It's about the opportunity to create something new and beautiful out of the ashes of the old. It's like a phoenix rising. So, in the context of this soul connection, death could be indicating that you're on the verge of something truly amazing. Maybe you're about to experience a deeper level of love, intimacy, and connection than you ever thought possible. Maybe you're about to create something together that will have a profound impact on the world. This is also not just necessarily romantic, right? Friendships, business partnerships, all types of partnerships can transform. It's like you've been through a lot, you've learned a lot, and you're finally ready to step into your full potential, both individually and as a couple. Is the work scary? Yes. But is it worth it? Yes, and like with the Sapphire's balancing energy, death is really emphasizing the need for equilibrium. It's about finding a balance between letting go and holding on, between ending the old and embracing the new, between honoring the past and creating the future. It's also about, balancing all of the previous cards' energies. Because there has been so much going on, all of those feelings. It's about recognizing that endings are a natural part of life, and that they're often necessary for new growth to occur. It's also about trusting that the universe has a plan for you, even when things seem chaotic or uncertain. You are so supported. So, what's the key takeaway here, right? The Death card is urging you to embrace change, to let go of what no longer serves you, and to trust that something better is on its way. It's challenging you to step outside of your comfort zone, to confront your fears, and to be willing to transform your life in order to align with your soul's purpose. This could also mean that you're simply not meant to be with this person, and that's okay too. Every connection teaches us something. It's like this connection might not be a soulmate connection, but a stepping stone on your path. It's also reminding you that endings are not always negative. Sometimes they're a blessing in disguise. Sometimes they're the best thing that could have happened to you. So, don't be afraid of the death card, okay? Embrace it, learn from it, and trust that it's leading you towards something truly amazing. Something that will help you balance your needs and create harmony in your life. Something that will help you recognize your soul's true purpose and connect with others on a deeper level. It's also important to acknowledge that death is a natural part of life, and it's something that we all have to face eventually. So, don't take anything for granted. Appreciate the people in your life, cherish the moments you have, and live each day to the fullest. Because, you never know what tomorrow will bring, you know? Okay, that got a little heavy. Okay, so now with the Knight of Swords, High Priestess, Empress, the Lovers, the Moon, and Death all together, it really feels like there is one more piece of the puzzle. One more push that you need to make to put yourself in the right place. I am seriously dying to know what the final card is. This journey of soul recognition is seriously a roller coaster. Are you ready? I am, Eyak. Okay, so where were we? It's so exciting. Yeah, we have the Knight of Swords, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Lovers, the Moon, and Death. So much intensity, so much transformation. And then, Temperance, bam, Temperance. This card is beautiful, right? Just visually, it's so calming. After all that chaos, all those big changes, like the energy of death, Temperance is like a soothing balm. It's about finding balance, harmony, and peace. It's about moderation, patience, and finding the middle path. But don't get me wrong, it's not about being passive or complacent. It's about actively blending different energies and creating something new, something stronger, you know. It's about taking all those intense experiences and integrating them into a cohesive whole. Think of it like mixing ingredients for a potion, right? You can't just throw everything in at once. You have to carefully measure each ingredient, stir it in slowly, and let it simmer until it's just right. And that's the energy of Temperance. So okay, how does Temperance connect to all those other cards, right? We've got the Knight of Swords, charging in with all that fiery energy. Temperance is saying, okay, Knight, slow down. You can't just rush into things. You need to temper your impulsiveness with patience and understanding. It's the Knight needs to learn to channel his energy in a more constructive way, to find a balance between action and reflection. He needs to learn that sometimes the most effective way to achieve your goals is to be patient, to be adaptable, and to be willing to compromise. That fiery passion is amazing, but you have to learn to control it or it will burn you up. Then there's the High Priestess, all about intuition and inner knowing. Temperance is saying, okay, Priestess, trust your gut, but also be open to other perspectives. Don't get so caught up in your own inner world that you lose touch with reality. It's the Priestess needs to learn to balance her intuition with logic and reason, to find a middle ground between the known and the unknown. She needs to learn that sometimes the answers we seek are not to be found within ourselves, but through interaction and blending and discussion with others. It's like a feedback loop, you know? And then the Empress, the ultimate Earth Mother, right? Temperance is okay, Empress, nurture and create, but don't overdo it. Don't smother the things you love with too much attention. Give them space to grow and develop on their own. It's the Empress needs to learn to balance her nurturing instincts with a healthy dose of detachment, to find a middle ground between giving and receiving. You can't pour from an empty cup. And then we have the Lovers, making choices, and I am still reeling from that one, oh my gosh. Temperance is okay, you have a choice, but is this a battle of either or do these choices actually, when blended, bring you to a third, unexpected outcome? It's not just about choosing one path over another, but about finding a way to integrate different paths into something new and meaningful. It's about finding a compromise, a middle ground, a way to honor both your own needs and the needs of others. It's about recognizing that true partnership is not about two people becoming one, but about two people coming together to create something greater than themselves. Because again, boundaries are so important. And the moon, Temperance, is also helping you see through the illusions. So you're not going to make a choice with those illusions still clouding your vision. With Temperance, the card, you are now able to discern more fully what is real and what just seemed real. You've, integrated some difficult truths, and you are now able to move forward with clear eyes. This helps so much with the choices that need to be made with the Lover's card. You're getting clarity so you can choose. I am so excited about that. Finally, death. Oh, wow. How does Temperance come in after death? It's okay, you have ended something, but can Temperance kind of help you pick up the pieces and use what's left to create something even better? How do you do that? Because you're kind of raw after a death card, right? Can you temper or mix what was with something new to create balance? That seems so powerful. It's use the ashes to rebuild a stronger foundation, All the intensity we just saw in those cards. Temperance is showing you how to bring them together in a balanced, harmonious way. It's about creating a recipe for success, a formula for love, a blueprint for a fulfilling life. So, what does all this mean for your soul connection? I mean, this is where it gets really interesting, right? Temperance, like I said, could be indicating that it's time to find a balance within the relationship, to find a way to blend your energies and create something that is greater than the sum of its parts. Maybe you need to compromise on certain issues, to find a middle ground that works for both of you. It could also be that you are no longer aligned, and that, the pieces just don't fit. Which again, that's okay. But either way, Temperance is a reminder that true connection is not about forcing things to fit, but about finding a harmonious flow that allows both partners to thrive. What will you create? I'm so excited to find out. The energy of Temperance is really emphasizing the need for patience and understanding. It's about recognizing that soul connections take time to develop, and that there will be ups and downs along the way. Temperance could also be the sign that you need to see what things are like without the other person. Because Temperance is balance, what does your life look like when it's just you? It could be that balance is not achieved with this soul connection. And that's important to acknowledge, too. I am so on the edge of my seat because you have the potential for creating something truly amazing, but you have to be willing to put in the work, to be patient, and to trust the process. Okay, so that's Temperance, right? But what's the big picture here? What's the final destination on this journey of soul recognition? What's the last piece of the puzzle that's going to bring it all together? Oh my gosh, I am dying to know. Are you ready? I am so ready. Okay, so where do we even begin with Temperance, right? Because it's such a multifaceted card. It really brings us home. First of all, I think it's important to acknowledge that finding balance isn't always easy, It's not like you just snap your fingers and suddenly everything is perfect. It's a process, it's a journey, and it requires constant effort and attention. But the rewards are so worth it. It's really about finding equilibrium. I feel it's the Sapphire cluster has been working this entire reading, It's it's just been subtly guiding you towards this place of balance and harmony. It's okay, you've been through all this chaos, you've faced all these challenges, but now it's time to find your center, to find your peace, and to create a life that feels good from the inside out. So, how do you actually do that, right? How do you integrate all those different energies and find that middle path? Well, I think it starts with self-awareness, It starts with really understanding your own needs, your own desires, your own limitations. It's about being honest with yourself about what you want and what you need, and about being willing to compromise in order to create a harmonious relationship. It's about knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, and it's also about knowing the other person's strengths and weaknesses, too. It's a two-way street. I keep thinking about the Knight of Swords energy because, with him involved, this can sometimes be more trouble than it's worth. But, you're getting this reading, so you are working on that Temperance to help balance all of that energy, and it's a great thing. Just really acknowledging who you are, knowing that you're worth it, knowing that you're enough. And from there, you can begin to create more balanced and fulfilling life, because it all starts with you. Seriously, self-love is not selfish, it's essential. So step number 1, love yourself. Step number 2, practice moderation in all things. And by that, I mean don't go overboard in any one area of your life. Don't work too much, don't play too much, don't give too much, don't take too much. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're not depriving yourself of anything, but you're also not overindulging to the point where it becomes harmful. You have to nurture yourself in all ways. It's like that Empress energy. Are you nurturing yourself? And what does that actually look like? Seriously, do you even know? Because if you don't, then it's time to find out. Do you even like bubble baths? I hate them, honestly. I like showers way better. Okay, so maybe a better analogy is food. You can enjoy cake, you can enjoy cookies, you can enjoy pizza. But you can't only eat that stuff. You have to balance that with, vegetables and protein and, actual nutrients. It's the same with everything else in life. So, practice moderation. And then step number 3, be patient. Be patient with yourself, be patient with others, and be patient with the process. Things don't always happen on our timeline, and that's okay. Sometimes the best things in life take time to develop. Trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it's meant to be, even if it doesn't always feel like it. And that's a hard one, right? That's where that moon card comes in, that death card comes in. Because it's trusting when things are murky is so hard. But, that's why you have to work your intuition muscle. You have to connect to that high priestess energy, you know? You have to trust that you are being guided, even when you can't see the path ahead. You are always supported. And then, step number 4, be adaptable. Be willing to change your plans, to adjust your expectations, and to go with the flow. Life is full of surprises, and sometimes the best things happen when we least expect them. Be open to new possibilities, be willing to try new things, and don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. Because that's where the magic happens. And that's the death card, right? You had to end something to begin again. Embrace that fear and step forward. And then, step number 5, communicate openly and honestly. Talk to the people in your life, tell them how you're feeling, and listen to what they have to say. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable, to share your fears and your insecurities. The more open and honest you are, the stronger your relationships will be. And, seriously, that goes both ways. It's not all on you. What are they communicating? Are they open and honest, or are they dodgy? Seriously, go back to that moon card, right? Are there still illusions? Or is that fog finally clearing? Because you deserve honesty. So, communicate openly. Which brings us back to the lovers, because it's all about choices. Are you making the right choices for yourself? Are you honoring your values? Are you aligning with your soul's purpose? Because if you're not, then it's time to make some changes. It's time to choose a different path, one that feels more authentic and more aligned with who you truly are. You are empowered. And then, temperance. Seriously, this card is all about blending, right? It's about taking two different things and creating something new and stronger. So, think about your soul connection, right? What are the two different energies that are coming together in this relationship? What are the strengths and weaknesses of each person? And how can you blend those energies to create something truly amazing? Maybe you're really good at planning and organizing, and they're really good at improvising and going with the flow. So, how can you blend those two energies to create a life that is both structured and spontaneous? Or maybe you're really good at expressing your emotions, and they're really good at staying calm and grounded. So, how can you blend those two energies to create a relationship that is both passionate and stable? It's all about finding that balance, that middle ground, that harmonious flow. The sapphire stone is totally supporting you with that. And this could also apply to other areas of your life, right? Maybe you're trying to balance your career with your family life. So, how can you blend those two energies to create a life that is both fulfilling and meaningful? Or maybe you're trying to balance your creative pursuits with your practical responsibilities. So, how can you blend those two energies to create a life that is both expressive and grounded? It's all about finding that sweet spot where you're able to honor all aspects of yourself, to create a life that is truly balanced and harmonious. Wow, this has been such a journey, you know. Like, we started with this initial spark of soul recognition, and now we're here at Temperance, trying to find balance and harmony. And like, I know it hasn't been easy. There have been twists and turns, challenges and setbacks. But you've made it this far, and that's something to be proud of. Seriously, acknowledge how far you've come. And like, the fact that you're even watching this reading, the fact that you're even open to the possibility of a soul connection, says a lot about who you are. It says that you're a seeker, that you're a lover, that you're someone who is willing to go deep and to explore the mysteries of life. And that's amazing. Seriously, give yourself credit for that. So, like, where does this leave you, right? With all this information, with all this energy, with all these possibilities. Well, I think it leaves you in a really good place, you know? I think it leaves you with a sense of hope, a sense of empowerment, and a sense of clarity, you know? Like, you have the tools, you have the knowledge, and you have the support to create a life that is truly balanced and harmonious. You are so supported. You just have to trust yourself, trust the universe, and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it's meant to be. Have faith. And like, I know that's easier said than done, especially when things are tough. But I truly believe in you, and I know that you can do this. You have everything you need within you to create a life that is filled with love, joy, and abundance. You are enough. Now, I do have to say one thing. It's that it's also totally possible that this soul connection just isn't meant to be, right? And that's okay. Not every connection is meant to last forever. Sometimes, people come into our lives to teach us lessons, to help us grow, and to prepare us for something even better. So if it turns out that this relationship isn't working out, don't beat yourself up about it. Don't feel like you've failed. Just learn from the experience, let go of what no longer serves you, and trust that something even more amazing is on its way. Again, trust that death is a natural part of things. And like, this is really important, okay? Because sometimes we get so fixated on finding a soulmate that we forget to focus on our own growth and our own happiness. We start putting all our energy into trying to make a relationship work, even when it's clear that it's not meant to be. And that's not healthy, right? That's not balanced. That's not what temperance is all about. Temperance is about finding balance within yourself first and foremost. It's about creating a life that is fulfilling and meaningful, regardless of whether or not you're in a relationship. So, like, if you're feeling like you're losing yourself in this connection, if you're feeling like you're sacrificing your own needs and desires in order to be with this person, then it's time to take a step back. It's time to reevaluate your priorities. It's time to focus on yourself. You deserve it. And seriously, like, you are amazing, you are worthy, and you are capable of creating a life that is filled with love, joy, and abundance, whether you're in a relationship or not. Never forget that. Okay. And like, that's it, right? That's the end of this reading. But it's also just the beginning of your journey. So, like, go forth and create, go forth and connect, and go forth and trust that you are exactly where you need to be. The cards, the universe, and me, we all believe in you. And like, thank you so much for letting me read for you today. It's been such a pleasure to connect with you and to share my insights with you. I hope this reading has been helpful, and I hope it has inspired you to create a life that is truly balanced and harmonious. Seriously, remember all of this. Sending you so much love and light, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey there, you guys. Welcome to this reading. If you picked the Selenite Tower, get ready for some serious clarity because Selenite is all about awakening and clearing away the fog. This reading is themed around veils being lifted and hearts aligning. It's all about uncovering a deeper connection, so let's see what the cards have to say about that. Okay, first up, we have the moon. Ooh, this is so interesting. The moon is all about intuition, the subconscious, and things that are hidden, right? So the fact that this is the first card we're seeing, it really emphasizes that whole veils lifted thing, doesn't it? It's like there's something here that hasn't been fully in the light, something maybe you haven't been fully aware of, or something that's been kind of shrouded in mystery. Now, with the moon, it's not necessarily about things being bad or negative, you know. It's more about the need to trust your gut and to pay attention to those subtle feelings, and hunches that you might usually dismiss. Think of it like this. Have you been having dreams lately that feel super vivid or symbolic? Or maybe you've just been getting a strong feeling about someone or something, but you can't quite put your finger on why. That's the moon talking to you. It's your intuition trying to guide you, trying to show you something that your conscious mind hasn't quite picked up on yet. And it's often tied to the past, like maybe something that you thought was resolved is actually still affecting you subconsciously. Or maybe there's a pattern from your past that's repeating itself in your current situation, and you're not even realizing it. This could totally be about a person, too, right? Like, maybe there's someone in your life who you're not quite sure about. You might be getting mixed signals from them, or maybe they're just not being completely open and honest with you. The moon is saying, hey, pay attention, trust your instincts. Don't ignore those red flags, but also don't jump to conclusions. You need to really dig deep and try to understand what's going on beneath the surface. And the thing about the moon is that it's all about illusion, right? Things aren't always as they seem. So you might be seeing a situation or a person through rose-colored glasses, or maybe you're letting your fears and insecurities cloud your judgment. It's like, you gotta be willing to take off those glasses and really see things for what they are, even if it's a little scary. But here's the thing. The moon isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to empower you. It's saying, you have the intuition and the inner wisdom to navigate this situation. You just need to trust yourself and be willing to look a little deeper. Because once you do, you're going to uncover some really important truths, like it's going to reveal a hidden connection that you didn't even realize was there. Maybe you've been dismissing someone as just a friend, but the moon is saying, wait a minute, is there something more there? Or maybe you've been avoiding dealing with a certain issue because it feels too overwhelming, but the moon is saying, actually, you're stronger than you think. You're ready to face this now. So, trust that inner voice, trust those hunches, and don't be afraid to explore the shadows. That's where you're going to find the answers you're looking for. And that selenite tower is just amplifying that clarity, helping you cut through the illusion and see things as they really are. You know, I feel like this is definitely pointing to a situation where your intuition is screaming at you, but you're trying to ignore it, or maybe you're just not sure if you can trust what you're feeling. It can even be about something that you're keeping hidden from yourself. Like, maybe you have a secret desire or a hidden talent that you've been afraid to acknowledge, because, I don't know, maybe you're worried about what other people will think, or maybe you just don't think you're good enough. But the moon is urging you to embrace those hidden parts of yourself, to explore those passions, because that's where you're going to find your true fulfillment. And honestly, this ties in perfectly with the reading's theme of veils being lifted and hearts aligning, because you can't truly align your heart with someone else, or even with yourself, if you're not being honest about what's really going on beneath the surface. The moon is like a spotlight, shining into those dark corners and revealing all the hidden stuff that needs to be brought into the light. So yeah, listen to your dreams, pay attention to your feelings, and don't be afraid to ask yourself the tough questions. That's where the magic happens. Okay, so next up, we have the magician. Oh my gosh, this is so good after the moon. Because like you've uncovered these hidden truths, you've faced your fears, you've tapped into your intuition. Now what? Well, now you take action. The magician is all about manifestation, skill, and power, right? It's about taking all those raw ingredients and turning them into something real, something tangible. The magician is like, okay, you've seen behind the curtain. Now it's time to step into your own power and create the reality you want. This card is all about having the tools and the resources you need to make things happen. It's about knowing that you have the skills, the knowledge, and the ability to bring your dreams to life. But the thing about the magician is that it's not just about having the tools, it's about knowing how to use them. It's about mastering your craft, honing your skills, and becoming a true expert in your field. So this could be a sign that you're ready to take your talents to the next level, to really dedicate yourself to mastering something that you're passionate about. Think about it. After the moon, which is all about hidden potential, the magician is like the spark that ignites that potential and turns it into something amazing. Like, maybe you've been feeling insecure about your abilities, or maybe you've been doubting whether you have what it takes to succeed, but the magician is here to tell you that you absolutely do. You have all the tools you need right at your fingertips. You just need to believe in yourself and be willing to put in the work. And I think that's a really key point here, because the magician isn't about instant gratification or overnight success. It's about the process of creation, the journey of mastering your craft, and the satisfaction of bringing something beautiful and meaningful into the world. This is where that hearts-aligned piece of the reading theme really comes into play. It's about aligning your actions with your true intentions, about using your power to create something that resonates with your soul. So, if you've been feeling lost or directionless lately, the magician is a sign that you're about to find your focus. You're about to discover your true calling. This is a time to really embrace your creativity, to explore your talents, and to start taking concrete steps towards achieving your goals. And this isn't just about career stuff or professional success, okay? This could be about your relationships too. The magician is about taking control of your own narrative, about creating the kind of connection that you want to have with others. So, after the moon revealing those hidden feelings, maybe now is the time to have that honest conversation, to express your needs and desires, and to create a relationship that is truly aligned with your heart. Or maybe this is about taking control of your health and well-being. The magician is about using your will and your intention to create a healthier, happier life for yourself. So, whether that means starting a new exercise routine, changing your diet, or just making more time for self-care, this is a time to really focus on nurturing yourself and creating a life that supports your overall well-being. I think that Selenite tower is just helping you to focus your intention and to really manifest those desires. It's like you're clearing away all the mental clutter and focusing on what you truly want to create in your life. You're stepping into your power, you're taking control, and you're making magic happen. I love this energy. And now we have the Eight of Pentacles. Oh, this is perfect. So we've got the moon revealing the hidden stuff, the magician stepping into your power, and now the Eight of Pentacles is all about putting in the work, right? This card is all about dedication, hard work, and mastery. It's about the commitment it takes to really achieve your goals, to really hone your craft. The Eight of Pentacles is like, okay, you've got the vision, you've got the skills. Now it's time to get down to business and put in the hours. This isn't about instant success or overnight fame. It's about the slow, steady progress that comes from consistent effort and dedication. It's like this card is showing me that whatever you're working towards, it's going to require some serious commitment, but it's also going to be incredibly rewarding in the end. Think about it. After the magician, which is all about potential and creation, the Eight of Pentacles is about grounding that energy and turning it into something tangible. It's about taking those ideas and those dreams and actually making them a reality through hard work and perseverance. This card is telling me that you're not afraid of hard work, you're not afraid of putting in the hours, and you're not afraid of dedicating yourself to something that you truly believe in. And honestly, that's such a powerful message, because so many people give up when things get tough, but you're not one of those people. You're willing to roll up your sleeves and do whatever it takes to achieve your goals. And I think what's really important about the Eight of Pentacles is that it's not just about working hard, it's about working smart. It's about being efficient, about being organized, and about constantly striving to improve your skills. This is a time to really focus on the details, to pay attention to the little things, and to make sure that you're doing everything to the best of your ability. This is also where the connection piece really comes in, because the Eight of Pentacles often represents working on something with someone else. Maybe you're collaborating with a partner on a project, or maybe you're learning from a mentor who can help you improve your skills. This card is reminding you that you don't have to do it all alone, and that working with others can actually help you achieve your goals more quickly and more effectively. It can also be about finding joy in the process, right? It's not just about the end result. It's about the satisfaction of knowing that you're putting in the work, that you're constantly improving, and that you're making progress towards your goals. The more effort you put into it, the more rewarding it's going to be, and the more aligned you're going to feel with your true purpose. So embrace the challenge, put in the hours, and trust that your hard work will pay off in the end. I really feel like that Selenite tower is helping you to stay focused and motivated, even when things get tough. It's clearing away the distractions and helping you to stay committed to your goals. And you know, it's funny, this could even be about honing your intuitive skills, right? Like after the moon revealed those hidden abilities, the Eight of Pentacles is about practicing and developing those skills so that you can use them more effectively. Maybe you're taking a class on tarot, or maybe you're just spending more time meditating and connecting with your intuition. Whatever it is, this card is telling you that the more you practice, the better you're going to become, and the more you're going to be able to trust your inner guidance. That's it for the initial card pull. Let's move on. Okay, wow, and now we have the Fool. This is so interesting. So the Fool is all about new beginnings, right? It's about stepping out into the unknown, taking a leap of faith, and just trusting that everything is going to work out. It's like you're standing at the edge of a cliff and you don't know what's down there, but you're just ready to jump. So thinking about how this connects to the other cards, with the Moon, you uncovered some hidden truths, right? And with the Magician, you harnessed your power to create. Then, with the Eight of Pentacles, you put in all that hard work and dedication. Now the Fool is saying, okay, you've done all the preparation, you've learned all the lessons. Now it's time to just go for it. It's like you've been building up to this moment, and now the universe is giving you the green light to take that leap. You know, it's like all that work with the Eight of Pentacles wasn't just for the sake of working, but it was preparing you for this moment of newness, this moment of just pure potential. I almost feel like that diligent energy was building the foundation that allows you to step confidently into this new, unknown space, you know. Like, you're not just jumping blindly. You're jumping with the knowledge and skills you've gained. And the Moon, that's still so important here. Because the Fool is also about trusting your intuition, right? It's about listening to that inner voice that's guiding you, even if you don't know exactly where you're going. So all those hidden truths that you uncovered with the Moon, they're still relevant here. You need to trust those feelings, trust those hunches, and let them guide you on this new adventure. It's like maybe you've been getting a strong feeling that you need to make a change, but you've been holding back because you're scared or uncertain. The Fool is saying, don't be afraid, trust your gut and just go for it. And I think that's really powerful, especially considering the theme of this reading, veils lifted, hearts aligned. This leap of faith, this new beginning. It's all about aligning your heart with your true desires, about shedding those old limitations and embracing a new version of yourself, like one that's more authentic and more aligned with your soul's purpose. Does that make sense? I feel like you're shedding old skin and blossoming, you know. Now, with the leap of faith aspect, it's important to remember that the Fool doesn't always mean a literal, physical journey, okay? This could be a metaphorical leap, like maybe you're starting a new project, ending an old relationship, or just making a major shift in your mindset. It's about embracing the unknown and being willing to take risks, even if it's a little scary. Maybe this is a career thing. Like maybe you've been working in a job that you don't love and you've been dreaming of starting your own business. The Fool could be saying, now is the time, take the leap, quit your job and pursue your passion. Or maybe it's a relationship thing. Like maybe you've been feeling stuck in a relationship that's not fulfilling and you know that you need to move on. The Fool could be saying, have the courage to end it and start fresh. There's someone out there who's a better match for you. Or maybe it's just about breaking free from old patterns and limiting beliefs. Like, I don't know, maybe you've been telling yourself that you're not good enough, or that you're not capable of achieving your dreams. The Fool could be saying, that's not true. You are good enough. You are capable. Believe in yourself and take a chance. You know, it's like you've been so focused on the details, on the hard work, on perfecting your skills that you've almost forgotten to have fun. You've forgotten to be spontaneous. Like you've forgotten how to just trust the flow of life. The Fool is reminding you that it's okay to let go of control, to embrace the unexpected, and to just see where the journey takes you. But here's the thing, though, It's not about being reckless or irresponsible, okay? It's not about throwing caution to the wind and making impulsive decisions without thinking them through. It's about finding that balance between being prepared and being open to new possibilities, like, you've done the work, but now trust that the universe will guide you. It's about trusting your intuition, trusting your skills, and trusting that you have what it takes to handle whatever comes your way. It's about believing in yourself and having faith that everything is going to work out for the best, even if you can't see the whole picture yet. Does that resonate? I feel like this is a really big turning point, you know. It's like you're at a crossroads, and you have a choice to make. You can either stay where you are, in your comfort zone, doing the same old things, or you can take that leap of faith and step into a new and exciting chapter of your life. And the Fool is clearly encouraging you to choose the latter. Like, this is such a strong sign that you're ready for something new, that you're ready for something bigger, and that you have the courage and the resilience to make it happen. This card is urging you to be brave, to be bold, and to be open to new experiences. It's about letting go of fear, letting go of doubt, and letting go of the need to control everything, you know? It's about trusting that the universe has your back, and that you're exactly where you need to be in this moment. So, practically speaking, what could this look like? Well, like I said, it could be a career change, a relationship shift, or a personal transformation. But it could also be something smaller, like taking a class, learning a new skill, or traveling to a new place, like something that just pushes you outside of your comfort zone and opens you up to new perspectives. It could be starting a new hobby, trying a new food, or even just striking up a conversation with a stranger, like anything that injects a little bit of spontaneity and excitement into your life. The key is to listen to your intuition and to pay attention to the signs that the universe is sending you. What are you being drawn to? What are you curious about? What are you excited about? Those are the clues that will lead you to your next big adventure. It's almost like the universe is saying, hey, remember that thing you've always wanted to do? Well, now's your chance. Go for it. And I really think that Selenite Tower is helping you to see those opportunities and to have the courage to seize them. It's clearing away the fear and the doubt and helping you to trust your own inner guidance. It's giving you that clarity, that awakening, so you can see the path ahead, even if it's a little bit blurry. You know, so yeah, embrace the unknown, trust the journey, and don't be afraid to take that leap of faith. The universe is waiting for you with open arms. I'm so excited for you. What amazing things are about to happen. Okay, so what's next? I wonder what the next card will tell us about the outcome of this leap, or maybe it will give us more insight into what kind of leap we're even talking about, you know. Okay, let's see. Okay. And now we have the Seven of Swords. Ooh, this is interesting, especially after that Fool card, right? Because the Seven of Swords, it's often about, like, trickery, deception, maybe even getting away with something, you know? It's not always the most straightforward energy. So, like, how does this fit in with everything else we've seen so far? Well, the first thing that comes to mind is that Moon card, right? The Moon was all about hidden things, things that aren't quite in the light. So maybe this Seven of Swords is pointing to some kind of deception that's still lingering, some kind of secret that hasn't been fully revealed. Like maybe you thought you uncovered all the hidden stuff with the Moon, but this card is saying, hold on, there's still something more here that you need to be aware of. It's like someone isn't being completely honest, or maybe there's a situation where things aren't quite as they seem, you know? And it could be you or someone else or both. And thinking about that hearts-aligned theme, this could definitely be about a relationship. Maybe there's someone in your life who isn't being truthful with you, or maybe you're not being completely honest with them. It's like there's a lack of transparency, a lack of openness, that's preventing you from truly connecting on a deeper level. Maybe someone is saying one thing but doing another. Or maybe they are hiding their true feelings. Or maybe they're subtly undermining you, you know, being passive-aggressive or something like that. You know, with the Fool being about new beginnings, maybe this is highlighting that starting something new requires honesty and transparency. You can't build something solid on a foundation of lies, right? But here's the thing, and this is important. This Seven of Swords energy, it can also be about you, right? Maybe you're the one who's not being completely honest, even if it's just with yourself, you know? Like, maybe you're trying to convince yourself that everything is fine, when really, deep down, you know that something is off. Or maybe you're avoiding a difficult conversation because you're afraid of the consequences. Like, maybe you know you need to end a relationship, but you're making excuses to stay in it. It's like you're stealing away, taking the easy route, instead of facing the situation head-on. And the swords, they represent the mind, right? So it could mean you're being dishonest with your thoughts, rationalizing things to suit your needs, or like twisting the truth. And how does this tie into that Fool card? Well, the Fool is all about taking a leap of faith, but maybe this is a warning to make sure that your leap is based on a solid foundation, right? Make sure you have all the information you need, and make sure you're not being misled or deceived in any way. Like, maybe you're so eager to start this new chapter that you're ignoring some red flags, or you're not doing your due diligence. You know, it's like, don't jump into the unknown without looking first. The Seven of Swords is like a little voice saying, are you sure about this? Are you really sure you know what you're getting into? So, what can you do to avoid the negative aspects of this card? Well, the first thing is to be honest with yourself. Really take some time to reflect on your situation and ask yourself some tough questions. Are you being truthful with yourself and with others? Are there any areas where you're cutting corners or avoiding responsibility? And this Selenite tower, it's all about clarity and awakening, so use that energy to really cut through the illusion and see things as they truly are. Meditate with it, journal with it, ask it for guidance, you know. And here's another thing to consider, because this isn't always a purely negative card, right? The Seven of Swords can also represent strategy, cleverness, and thinking outside the box. Maybe you're in a situation where you need to be a little bit sneaky, a little bit resourceful, to get ahead. Maybe you're facing some opposition, and you need to find a way to outsmart your opponents. It's like you're not necessarily doing anything wrong, but you're just being smart and strategic about how you approach things. But even then, you have to be careful, right? Because there's a fine line between being clever and being unethical. You don't want to compromise your values or hurt anyone in the process. It's like maybe you're negotiating a deal, and you're using your wit and charm to get the best possible outcome. Or maybe you're starting a new business, and you're using creative marketing tactics to attract customers. These aren't inherently bad things, but you need to make sure you're doing them with integrity and honesty. So maybe the leap isn't the bad thing, but the way you're getting to the leap might be. Like, maybe you're embellishing your resume to get a job, or maybe you're spreading rumors about a competitor to gain an advantage. That's where the Seven of Swords can become really problematic. You know, it's all about intention. Are you using your cleverness for good, or are you using it to manipulate and deceive others? Are you getting away with something, or are you strategically positioning yourself? And it goes back to the magician too, right? The magician is all about using your skills and resources to create the reality you want, but you have to be mindful of how you're using that power. Are you using it to build something positive and meaningful, or are you using it to manipulate and control others? The Seven of Swords is a reminder that your actions have consequences, and that even the most clever strategies can backfire if they're not aligned with your values. So, that magician power, it's still there, but now there's like a test. Are you going to wield your power ethically or not? So yeah, this card is definitely adding a layer of complexity to the reading. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, you know? There's a potential for deception, dishonesty, and trickery, but there's also a potential for cleverness, strategy, and resourcefulness. It's up to you to choose how you want to use this energy. And remember that selenite, that awakening. It's here to help you see the truth, to make ethical choices, and to align your actions with your heart's desires. It's like, use that crystal to shine a light on any hidden agendas, either yours or someone else's, and make sure you're moving forward with integrity and honesty. I'm really curious to see how this all plays out with the final cards. Will the truth be revealed? Will you overcome the challenges? Will you find a way to align your heart with your actions? I feel like we're at a critical point, you know? Like the next card is going to be really telling. Like, what's the outcome of this potential deception? Or what's the result of choosing the ethical versus unethical path? We're so close to finding out. Okay, let's go to the next card. Alright, now we have the Queen of Swords. Ooh, this is a lot, especially right after the Seven of Swords, right? Because the Queen of Swords, she is not messing around, you know. She's like truth, clarity, intellectual power, and cutting through BS. Like, she is the queen of cutting through the crap, you know. So, like, after that Seven of Swords, which was all about trickery and deception, it's almost like the universe is sending in the cavalry, like, okay, you need some serious clarity here, and the Queen of Swords is here to deliver. You know, I definitely think, this is interesting with that Selenite too, because the Selenite is, of course, awakening. I think that you are going to be needing that clarity big time, I really do. But I think it's interesting to kind of see how you can start embodying the Queen of Swords, because I think that might be what's happening. So I think you're probably wondering, like, okay, so what does that mean for me? How do I embody this Queen of Swords energy? Well, I think the first thing to recognize is that you already have this power within you. It's just about tapping into it, you know? It's about recognizing your own intelligence, your own discernment, and your own ability to see things clearly, even when things are confusing or deceptive. So, like, think of the Queen of Swords as your inner mentor, your inner guide, who's helping you to navigate this tricky situation with wisdom and grace. And I think, too, with the Queen, like, remember that moon card? The moon was all about intuition and hidden truths. Well, the Queen of Swords, she takes that intuition and she combines it with logic and reason, you know. It's not just about feeling things, it's about understanding them, analyzing them, and making informed decisions based on the facts. So, like, maybe you've been relying too much on your emotions lately, or maybe you've been letting your fears and insecurities cloud your judgment. The Queen of Swords is saying, okay, it's time to step back, take a deep breath, and look at this situation with a clear and objective mind. You know, so practically speaking, what does that look like? Well, it could mean doing some research, gathering some information, talking to some trusted advisors, you know? It's about getting all the facts straight before you make any decisions. It's also about being honest with yourself, even if it's painful. Like, are you really being realistic about this situation? Or are you letting your hopes and dreams get in the way? You know, this is definitely calling for like a brutally honest look at things, you know? It's like, okay, what are the hard truths that I'm avoiding? What are the uncomfortable realities that I need to face? And the thing is, it's not always easy, right? The truth can be painful and it can be scary. But the Queen of Swords is reminding you that you're strong enough to handle it. You're capable of facing whatever comes your way, and you're going to be better off in the long run for doing so. It's like, she's got that sword for a reason, you know. It's not just about cutting through the BS, it's about protecting yourself too. It's about setting boundaries, saying no when you need to, and not letting other people take advantage of you. So, like, maybe there's someone in your life who's been draining your energy, or maybe there's a situation where you've been feeling taken advantage of. The Queen of Swords is saying, okay, it's time to draw a line in the sand. It's time to stand up for yourself and say, enough is enough. And with the Magician, you know, like, that's about wielding your power. So maybe you weren't wielding it for yourself, but it was for others. Now you have that, now you have the boundaries, and you have the clear thinking to protect yourself with your power. But here's another thing to consider, you know. Like, this Queen of Swords energy, it can also be about being compassionate and empathetic, you know. It's not just about being cold and logical. It's about using your intelligence and your discernment to help others, too. So, like, maybe you have a friend who's going through a tough time, and they need some advice. The Queen of Swords is saying, okay, offer your support, offer your wisdom, but also don't be afraid to tell them the truth, even if it's hard to hear. You know, it's about being a supportive friend, but also being a voice of reason, helping them to see things clearly and make the best decisions for themselves. And you know, this also might have to do with that Fool card too, because the Fool took a leap. You have the clarity now to assess that leap. Was it a good one? Was it not? So it's about using your intelligence to make a positive impact on the world. But here's the thing, and this is important, the Queen of Swords, she can also be a warning, you know? Like, if you're not careful, this energy can become harsh, critical, and judgmental. You don't want to become someone who's constantly nitpicking and finding fault with everything, you know? It's about finding that balance between being discerning and being compassionate, between being honest and being kind. So, like, check yourself, you know? Are you being too critical of yourself or of others? Are you being too quick to judge? Are you letting your own insecurities and fears cloud your judgment? But here's where it gets really interesting, okay? Because this Queen of Swords energy, it might not just be about you. It might be representing someone else in your life, someone who embodies these qualities, you know? Like, maybe there's someone who's already playing this role in your life, someone who's offering you clarity, wisdom, and guidance. This is a woman that you know, okay? So, like, think about the women in your life, you know. Who is the one who's always telling you the truth, even when it's hard to hear? Who is the one who's always offering you sound advice? Who is the one who's always helping you to see things clearly? That's your Queen of Swords. And maybe you need to lean on her right now, you know? Maybe you need to reach out to her and ask for her guidance. Because she's there to help you, and she has the wisdom and the experience to help you navigate this tricky situation. But it could also be a warning about someone in your life who's using this Queen of Swords energy in a negative way, you know? Like, maybe there's someone who's being too critical, too judgmental, too harsh, and it's actually hurting you, not helping you. This person might be coming off as very, very cold. This woman is sharp. So, like, pay attention to the women in your life, you know? Who is the one who's making you feel small and insecure? Who is the one who's always putting you down? Who is the one who's always finding fault with everything you do? That might be a sign that you need to distance yourself from that person, or at least set some boundaries, you know? Because you don't need that negativity in your life right now. You need to surround yourself with people who are supportive, encouraging, and who believe in you. And this selenite is going to help you see who is who. It's going to illuminate the situation, right? And it might also be a situation where you're going to have to be like the Queen of Swords to this person, you know. Like, they're behaving badly, they're being dishonest, and you're going to have to be the one to call them on it, even if it's uncomfortable, you know. Like, maybe you have a friend who's in a toxic relationship, and you need to tell them the truth, even though you know it's going to hurt their feelings. It's about being a good friend, but also being honest and not enabling their bad behavior, okay? It's about saying, hey, I care about you, and I don't want to see you get hurt. You deserve better than this. So, yeah, the Queen of Swords is definitely a complex card, but it's also a really powerful card, you know? It's about tapping into your own intelligence, your own discernment, and your own ability to see things clearly. It's about setting boundaries, protecting yourself, and standing up for what you believe in. And it's about using your wisdom and your compassion to help others, too. It's like you need to become the Queen of Swords in your own life, you know? You need to step into that power, that clarity, and that strength, and use it to navigate this situation with grace and wisdom. And I think that Eight of Pentacles is important here, too. You are dedicated and you've been working hard. The Queen is going to make sure you're not being taken advantage of through all that hard work. You have put in so much work. You want to be sure that it is for a good cause, you know? Okay, so how does this all connect back to the hearts-aligned theme, right? Well, I think it's about aligning your actions with your truth, you know? It's about being honest with yourself and with others about what you want, what you need, and what you're willing to tolerate. It's about setting boundaries and not letting other people take advantage of you. It's about creating relationships that are based on mutual respect, honesty, and trust, like, only then can your heart truly align with another person, you know? And that selenite tower, I feel like it's just amplifying that clarity, helping you to cut through all the confusion and the deception and see things as they really are. It's giving you that strength, that courage to speak your truth, to set your boundaries, and to create a life that's aligned with your heart's desires. It's all about having that awakening so that you can clearly see what it is that will benefit you and what it is that might be deceiving you. I'm so curious to see what the final card is going to reveal, you know. Like, is this deception going to be uncovered? Are you going to be able to navigate this tricky situation with grace and wisdom? Are you going to be able to align your heart with your truth? I feel like the answer is right around the corner. Okay, let's see what we've got. Okay, this is the last card and we have the Empress. Oh my gosh. Okay, after all that, after the trickery, after the Queen of Swords, this is like a balm, you know? This is like, finally, some nurturing, some abundance, some pure, unadulterated feminine energy. I am really excited about this. I think with everything that you have been going through, this is going to be very helpful, you know? Because, think about it, right? We started with the moon, which was all about those hidden things, those subconscious feelings. And then we had the Magician, stepping into your power, creating the life you want. Then the Eight of Pentacles, putting in the work, the dedication, the long hours. And then bam, the Fool, taking that leap of faith. And then, Seven of Swords, potential deception, things not being what they seem. And then the Queen of Swords coming in to clear everything up. Then finally, the Empress. This is beautiful. It's like you had to go through all of that to get here, you know? And that Selenite tower, that awakening. It was all leading to this moment, to this embrace of the Empress energy. It's like all those veils had to be lifted so you could finally see the truth, so you could finally align your heart with your desires and step into this abundant, creative space. So all of those veils that were lifted from your eyes are now going to allow you to create the most beautiful, abundant life you could possibly imagine. I really think that's so beautiful. So, what does the Empress even mean, right? Well, she's all about nurturing, she's all about abundance, she's all about creation, and she's all about feminine energy. She's like the ultimate Earth Mother, you know? She's the one who provides, who cares, who creates beauty and harmony in the world. I think the Earth Mother aspect is very important. It's about providing for yourself too. It's not just for others. So, how does that relate to everything else we've seen? Well, I think after all that mental energy with the Queen of Swords, after all that cutting through the BS, you need to reconnect with your body, with your senses, with your emotions. The Empress is saying, okay, you've done all the thinking, now it's time to feel, it's time to nurture yourself. It's time to create something beautiful. And this is especially important when it comes to relationships, right? Because with that Seven of Swords, there was potential deception, maybe some lack of trust. Well, the Empress is all about creating a safe and loving space where trust can flourish, where vulnerability is celebrated, and where hearts can truly align. So, like, if you've been having trouble connecting with someone on a deeper level, the Empress is saying, okay, create that space, be open, be vulnerable, and let your love flow freely. And this isn't just about romantic relationships, okay? This is about all your relationships with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues, and most importantly, with yourself. The Empress is all about self-love, self-care, and self-compassion. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and nurturing that you would offer to someone you love. So if the people around you aren't embodying the Earth Mother and aren't nurturing you, this is about nurturing yourself and then setting those boundaries. So, how can you embody this Empress energy in your daily life? Well, there are so many ways, right? You could start by creating a more beautiful and nurturing environment for yourself. Maybe that means decorating your home with plants and flowers, or maybe it means taking a long, relaxing bath with essential oils, or maybe it just means making time for yourself to do something that you enjoy, like reading a book, listening to music, or spending time in nature. It's important for you to spend time doing things that bring you joy. You could also focus on nurturing your body with healthy food, regular exercise, and plenty of rest. The Empress is all about taking care of your physical needs, so make sure you're giving your body what it needs to thrive. Like, treat yourself to a delicious and nutritious meal, go for a walk in the park, or get a massage. And you could also focus on nurturing your creative side. The Empress is all about creation, so find ways to express your creativity, whether that's through painting, writing, dancing, singing, or whatever else brings you joy. It's like, let your inner artist come out and play. Don't let yourself get bogged down by too many things, you know. And here's the thing, the Empress isn't just about receiving, it's also about giving. It's about sharing your abundance with others, about using your gifts and talents to make the world a better place. So, find ways to give back to your community, whether that's through volunteering, donating to charity, or simply offering a helping hand to someone in need. The more you give, the more you'll receive, and the more abundant your life will become. Now, this could also be a very literal sign of fertility, right? So, if you've been trying to conceive, this could be a really positive sign that your dreams are about to come true. Or, if you're not trying to conceive, this could be a sign to be extra careful, you know. But even if it's not about literal fertility, it's definitely about new beginnings, about new projects, about new ideas, about new opportunities, all of which will birth abundance. But here's a potential challenge, right? After all that Queen of Swords energy, all that logic and reason, it can be hard to let go and just embrace the flow, to just trust your intuition and let your emotions guide you. It's like, you might be afraid of losing control, or you might be worried about being too emotional, but the Empress is saying, it's okay to let go, it's okay to feel, it's okay to be vulnerable. You're safe, you're loved, and you're supported. So, how do you balance that Queen of Swords energy with this Empress energy? Well, I think it's about recognizing that both are important, that both have their place in your life. You need the logic and reason of the Queen of Swords to make smart decisions, to set boundaries, and to protect yourself. But you also need the nurturing and creative energy of the Empress to connect with your emotions, to express yourself, and to create a life that's full of love and joy. It's about finding that balance, that harmony, between your head and your heart. It's about using your intelligence to guide your emotions, and using your emotions to fuel your intelligence. So you aren't going to be led astray. You're going to be able to create the life you want and be very smart about it. And remember that Selenite tower, right? It's all about awakening and clarity. It's helping you to see the truth, to make wise decisions, and to align your actions with your heart's desires. It's like, it's shining a light on your path, guiding you towards a future that's full of abundance, love, and joy. So yeah, the Empress is a really beautiful card, and it's the perfect way to end this reading, you know? It's like, after all the challenges and the obstacles, you've finally arrived at a place of peace, of abundance, and of love. It's time to celebrate your journey, to embrace your feminine energy, and to create a life that's truly aligned with your heart's desires. This is all about you, and you've earned it. So trust the process, trust your intuition, and trust that everything is unfolding perfectly for your highest good. The universe has your back, and you're exactly where you need to be in this moment. I am so excited to see what the future holds for you. What a beautiful reading. Okay, this is the last card and we have the Empress. Oh my gosh. Okay, after all that, after the trickery, after the Queen of Swords, this is like a balm, you know? This is like, finally, some nurturing, some abundance, some pure, unadulterated feminine energy. I am really excited about this. I think, with everything that you have been going through, this is going to be very helpful, you know? Because, think about it, right? We started with the moon, which was all about those hidden things, those subconscious feelings. And then we had the Magician, stepping into your power, creating the life you want. Then the Eight of Pentacles, putting in the work, the dedication, the long hours, and then bam, the Fool, taking that leap of faith. And then, Seven of Swords, potential deception, things not being what they seem, and then the Queen of Swords coming in to clear everything up. Then finally, the Empress. This is beautiful. It's like, you had to go through all of that to get here, you know? And that Selenite tower, that awakening. It was all leading to this moment, to this embrace of the Empress energy. It's like all those veils had to be lifted so you could finally see the truth, so you could finally align your heart with your desires and step into this abundant, creative space. So all of those veils that were lifted from your eyes are now going to allow you to create the most beautiful, abundant life you could possibly imagine. I really think that's so beautiful. So what does the Empress even mean, right? Well, she's all about nurturing, she's all about abundance, she's all about creation, and she's all about feminine energy. She's like the ultimate Earth Mother, you know? She's the one who provides, who cares, who creates beauty and harmony in the world. I think the Earth Mother aspect is very important. It's about providing for yourself too. It's not just for others. So how does that relate to everything else we've seen? Well, I think after all that mental energy with the Queen of Swords, after all that cutting through the BS, you need to reconnect with your body, with your senses, with your emotions. The Empress is saying, okay, you've done all the thinking. Now it's time to feel, it's time to nurture yourself. It's time to create something beautiful. And this is especially important when it comes to relationships, right? Because with that Seven of Swords, there was potential deception, maybe some lack of trust. Well, the Empress is all about creating a safe and loving space where trust can flourish, where vulnerability is celebrated, and where hearts can truly align. So, like, if you've been having trouble connecting with someone on a deeper level, the Empress is saying, okay, create that space, be open, be vulnerable, and let your love flow freely. And this isn't just about romantic relationships, okay? This is about all your relationships with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues, and most importantly, with yourself. The Empress is all about self-love, self-care, and self-compassion. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and nurturing that you would offer to someone you love. So if the people around you aren't embodying the Earth Mother and aren't nurturing you, this is about nurturing yourself and then setting those boundaries. So, how can you embody this Empress energy in your daily life? Well, there are so many ways, right? You could start by creating a more beautiful and nurturing environment for yourself. Maybe that means decorating your home with plants and flowers. Or maybe it means taking a long, relaxing bath with essential oils. Or maybe it just means making time for yourself to do something that you enjoy, like reading a book, listening to music, or spending time in nature. It's important for you to spend time doing things that bring you joy. You could also focus on nurturing your body with healthy food, regular exercise, and plenty of rest. The Empress is all about taking care of your physical needs, so make sure you're giving your body what it needs to thrive. Like, treat yourself to a delicious and nutritious meal, go for a walk in the park, or get a massage. And you could also focus on nurturing your creative side. The Empress is all about creation, so find ways to express your creativity, whether that's through painting, writing, dancing, singing, or whatever else brings you joy. It's like, let your inner artist come out and play. Don't let yourself get bogged down by too many things, you know. And here's the thing, the Empress isn't just about receiving, it's also about giving. It's about sharing your abundance with others, about using your gifts and talents to make the world a better place. So, find ways to give back to your community, whether that's through volunteering, donating to charity, or simply offering a helping hand to someone in need. The more you give, the more you'll receive, and the more abundant your life will become. Now, this could also be a very literal sign of fertility, right? So, if you've been trying to conceive, this could be a really positive sign that your dreams are about to come true. Or, if you're not trying to conceive, this could be a sign to be extra careful, you know. But even if it's not about literal fertility, it's definitely about new beginnings, about new projects, about new ideas, about new opportunities, all of which will birth abundance. But here's a potential challenge, right? After all that Queen of Swords energy, all that logic and reason, it can be hard to let go and just embrace the flow, to just trust your intuition and let your emotions guide you. It's like, you might be afraid of losing control, or you might be worried about being too emotional, but the Empress is saying, it's okay to let go, it's okay to feel, it's okay to be vulnerable. You're safe, you're loved, and you're supported. So, how do you balance that Queen of Swords energy with this Empress energy? Well, I think it's about recognizing that both are important, that both have their place in your life. You need the logic and reason of the Queen of Swords to make smart decisions, to set boundaries, and to protect yourself. But you also need the nurturing and creative energy of the Empress to connect with your emotions, to express yourself, and to create a life that's full of love and joy. It's about finding that balance, that harmony, between your head and your heart. It's about using your intelligence to guide your emotions, and using your emotions to fuel your intelligence. So you aren't going to be led astray. You're going to be able to create the life you want and be very smart about it. And remember that Selenite tower, right? It's all about awakening and clarity. It's helping you to see the truth, to make wise decisions, and to align your actions with your heart's desires. It's like it's shining a light on your path, guiding you towards a future that's full of abundance, love, and joy. So yeah, the Empress is a really beautiful card, and it's the perfect way to end this reading, you know? It's like, after all the challenges and the obstacles, you've finally arrived at a place of peace, of abundance, and of love. It's time to celebrate your journey, to embrace your feminine energy, and to create a life that's truly aligned with your heart's desires. This is all about you, and you've earned it. So trust the process, trust your intuition, and trust that everything is unfolding perfectly for your highest good. The universe has your back, and you're exactly where you need to be in this moment. I am so excited to see what the future holds for you. What a beautiful reading. And so, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and finish off this reading with some guidance for you. So, to start, we have surrender to what is flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it as it is will bring you peace. I think that's a big thing with the Empress. Like, instead of trying to control factors, instead of trying to you know if you're having a hard day or if you know a thing you thought you fully healed from is coming back up and bringing you some pain, recognizing that, healing isn't linear. Sometimes things that we thought were in the past are going to come up again, but rather than denying it or beating yourself up or being well, I thought I was over this, I thought this was done, saying, okay, clearly there's still some part of me that needs more love and support here, let's deal with that. Literally, when you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it as it is will bring you peace. I feel like as you do that, solutions will come to you very naturally. You will have more energy because less of it is being spent on what you can't control. I also think that you will be a huge source of inspiration for people that are having trouble with that same instinct. We also have the cheetah, and I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly read what the cheetah is. It's solar force, action, achievement, masculine energy. I love how similar these two cards are, and how the cheetah is like running towards what is. The cheetah is the epitome of the solar forces at work. The sun doesn't shine onto the cheetah. It shines from inside this great creature and expands outward to brighten the universe. Oh my God, that is so you. The energy within the cheetah personality is palpable to others, and they naturally attract an audience to bear witness to their remarkable achievements. Yeah, that's that star purpose, and passion are the best fuel for a cheetah's forward momentum. If you're lacking in those areas, reconnect to the why before you start running. When in balance achieves energy, boundless energy. When out of balance, impatient and competitive. And to bring into balance, reconnect to purpose. Your purpose and your passion will fuel you forward. And that's why it's so important to cultivate your own inner light first. Because it's not about the light coming towards you, it's about you expanding your own light outwards. It's that star energy which is just so beautiful. But we also have celebrate, job well done, recognition, say yes. I definitely feel like this is spirit saying, hey buddy, things are getting better. Look at how similar those two cards are. I love that. I also feel like what your guides really want you to know is to start saying yes to things that bring you joy, and to recognize that it's time to start having some fun again. You know, especially now that this darkness is passing. That is something so worthy of celebrating. You don't need a concrete achievement to celebrate. Sometimes the most fun things to celebrate are just the fact that we've moved through a challenging time, or the fact that I am hearing, Chris, I'm maybe you're throw a divorce party, or I'm free from my shitty job party. You're free from a shitty roommate's party. That might be something that really is a source of joy. We also have, you are a terribly real thing in a false world, and that is why you are in pain. And I think that and what a beautiful thing to be a real thing. And yeah, people that are not being their authentic selves, people that are being their full selves, they're gonna have a hard time with that. But the pain that comes from being misunderstood, is not as painful as the pain that comes from trying to be something that you're not. It's always hard to be who we are, especially when so many people don't know how to be themselves. But that's why we need people like you to be their authentic selves, to be brave enough and courageous enough to be your real self, because that's how you can help others do the same, and that's how we can help ease that pain in the world, by showing others that it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be misunderstood. It's okay for others to judge you. Because if you don't agree with them, then they're not real. Hi there, you lovely soul. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you chose the Hematite angel, this is going to be your reading on their soul's recognition of yours. Hematite is all about balancing, so we're really looking at creating stability here, a foundation for something real and enduring. Okay, let's dive in and see what the cards have to say. So the first card we have is the Hierophant. Okay. The Hierophant is interesting. It's all about tradition, institutions, the way things are. It can represent established systems, beliefs, sometimes even societal expectations. It feels very much like the structures we operate within, the frameworks that are already in place. It might even represent, like, a mentor figure, someone who embodies these traditions. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it can point to a need to conform or to look for guidance from established sources. I'm seeing, like, maybe you or the other person involved see the world through a similar lens. Maybe you come from similar backgrounds, or adhere to the same belief systems, or were raised with the same ideals. Even something as simple as having the same job or hobby, something that shows adherence to a system or way of doing things. But then, right next to it, we have the Three of Cups. Ooh, this is where it gets exciting. The Three of Cups is all about celebration, friendship, community, joy, connection. It's that feeling of, like, overflowing happiness, of sharing good times with people you care about. I'm seeing this as a sign that within those structures, within those established ways of doing things that the Hierophant represents, there's a real spark of joy and connection. Maybe even, like, a recognition of a kindred spirit. Like, you find someone who gets you on a soul level within a place you least expect it. Maybe it's a work friend that turned into something more, or maybe you reconnect with someone you knew from a structured environment in the past, like a school or a club. What I'm also getting here is that there's something incredibly fulfilling about the relationship, especially when it comes to shared experiences. This isn't just a superficial connection, it's something that brings genuine happiness and a sense of belonging. I feel like there's a lot of laughter, a lot of shared jokes, a feeling of being completely comfortable and at ease with each other. When you can just be yourself completely and utterly without any fear of judgment, like you've known each other for lifetimes, maybe even a soul family connection, and rounding it all out, we have the Four of Wands. Oh, this is beautiful. The Four of Wands is all about home, stability, celebration, and a strong foundation. This is where things start to solidify. This isn't just a fleeting connection or a fun fling. This is something that has the potential to be long-lasting and incredibly grounding. Like, you're building something real together, something that feels safe and secure. It feels like you're creating a sanctuary, a place where you can both retreat to and feel completely accepted and loved. Now, the fact that it's Wands too, which is fire, it's passion, it's creativity. I'm seeing you build this together. A home, literally or figuratively, built on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine affection. It also feels like you are creating space for each other, to thrive and be your most authentic selves. This Four of Wands energy is also about celebrating milestones and achievements. Maybe you are celebrating the relationship itself, the love that you share, and the milestones that you hit together. I'm seeing parties, gatherings, and just general merriment surrounding this connection. Or you could be celebrating your personal wins as well and supporting each other's aspirations. There's a lot of cheering each other on happening here. This is really nice. So, the Hierophant, Three of Cups, and Four of Wands together. Wow, this feels like finding true joy and connection within the structures of your life, and then building something solid and lasting on that foundation. Like you are recognizing each other's souls. The key here is the mutual respect that's inherent in the Hierophant, combined with the joy of the Three of Cups and the stability of the Four of Wands. It's about honoring tradition while also embracing the excitement of a soul connection. Think about it like this. Maybe you met this person through work, which is the Hierophant. At first, it was just a professional relationship, but then you started to realize that you had so much in common. You made each other laugh, and you genuinely enjoyed spending time together. That's the Three of Cups. And now, you're building something together. Maybe it's a business partnership. Maybe it's a romantic relationship. Maybe it's a deep friendship. But it's something that feels incredibly solid and stable. That's the Four of Wands. Or maybe you grew up in the same church or the same community, Hierophant. You were always friendly, but never really connected until something sparked a deeper connection, Three of Cups. Now you are building a life together based on shared faith and morals, Four of Wands. There is a very strong feeling of shared values and a sense of building a life, whatever that means for you. It's about finding that balance between honoring the traditions and structures in your life, while also embracing the joy and passion that comes with a true soul connection. Like, the Hierophant provides the framework, the Three of Cups brings the spark, and the Four of Wands solidifies it into something lasting and meaningful. And going back to the Hematite angel, and the balancing energy here, this feels like the universe is supporting this connection and helping you to create a harmonious relationship that honors both your individual needs and your shared values. One thing that is super important here, that I think these cards are really telling me, is that you need to remember why this connection is what it is. Yes, you may come from the same place or have a similar outlook, but it's the spark that makes it special. Don't let the everyday get in the way of connecting with the other person. Keep dating each other, keep laughing with each other, keep supporting each other, even when it feels like life is getting in the way. The other thing I am seeing here is to make sure you both have a say in what you are building. The Hierophant can bring a sense of rigidity, but the Three of Cups is all about freedom, connection, and creativity. So it's important to make sure you are both able to express your opinions and desires in a way that is respectful of each other. The Four of Wands is all about stability, and a stable structure needs a solid foundation in communication and respect. This also applies to honoring each other's boundaries. Communication is key. This is just the beginning, though. There is so much more to unpack here. This connection, this recognition of souls, has so much potential. I'm so excited to see what the rest of the cards reveal. This could be a really transformative experience, and I'm so thrilled to be a part of it with you. Okay, so there's soul's recognition of yours. And we have the King of Pentacles. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay, the King of Pentacles. So this card, right, it's all about stability, security, abundance, being grounded, like really reliable energy. It's like the ultimate provider, someone who's built a solid foundation, not just financially, but also emotionally and practically. He's the kind of person you can count on, someone who's loyal, dependable, and really good at taking care of things. And he's not flashy about it either. It's just this quiet confidence and competence. It's like, I got this, So how does this fit in with everything else we've seen so far? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So we have the Hierophant, which is all about tradition and structure, and then the Three of Cups, which is joy and connection, and then the Four of Wands, which is building a home and a foundation. And now, the King of Pentacles. I think maybe this is showing that this connection is leading to something really stable and secure. Or maybe one of you embodies this King of Pentacles energy. Let's unpack this a little. Okay, so the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles. What if the Hierophant represents the established structures, right? And then the King of Pentacles is about mastering those structures. Maybe one of you has really thrived within these traditional systems. Maybe you've built a successful career or a solid reputation within your community, something that shows you're really good at playing the game, And that provides a sense of security for the other person. Or maybe together, You're building something within these established systems that's really secure and abundant. You know, like maybe you're starting a business together or investing in something that's going to provide long-term stability. It feels like you both understand the rules and how to work them to your advantage without compromising your values. The King of Pentacles is definitely someone who knows how to work within the system to achieve success, and maybe the Hierophant is a clue about where that success is coming from. What if you're working together to create something stable within that framework? It is the soul recognition, so it may be something that is intrinsically part of your destiny. I'm trying to see how it plays out, you know? Now, let's look at the Three of Cups and the King of Pentacles. The Three of Cups is joy and connection, right? So, how does that mesh with the King of Pentacles' stability and security? I think maybe this is saying that this connection isn't just about fun and games, it's also about building something real and lasting. Like the joy and the friendship are there, but there's also a sense of responsibility and commitment. The King of Pentacles doesn't do anything halfway, you know? So if he's in, he's all in. It's like, I'm going to provide for you, I'm going to take care of you, and I'm going to make sure you're secure. But it's not just about material things, it's also about emotional security. The King of Pentacles is someone who's emotionally grounded and stable, and he provides that for the people he cares about. There is a sense of building security together. It feels like this person or people are wanting to take care of each other in a very practical way. Okay, and then the Four of Wands and the King of Pentacles. The Four of Wands is about home and foundation, right? And the King of Pentacles is about building that foundation. So I think this is really solidifying the idea that this connection is leading to something long-term. Like, you're building a home together, literally or figuratively. You're creating a space where you both feel safe, secure, and supported. The King of Pentacles is the one who's making sure the bills are paid, the roof is strong, and the foundation is solid. He's the one who's thinking about the future and making sure you're both prepared for whatever comes your way. It's very mature energy. I'm wondering if the soul recognition is that you have finally found someone who can help you build a true home. Or maybe your soul recognizes that it's time for you to be this person. It feels like a very big message here. Okay, so, overall, what does this King of Pentacles energy mean for this connection? I think it could mean a few different things. It could mean that one of you is embodying this King of Pentacles energy, providing stability and security for the other. It could mean that you're both working together to build something really solid and lasting. Or, it could mean that the relationship itself is providing a sense of security and abundance for both of you. Like, being in this relationship makes you feel more grounded, more stable, and more secure. It's like you found someone who you can really rely on, someone who's got your back, no matter what. But it's not just about relying on someone else, it's also about becoming that person for yourself and for each other. The soul recognition may mean, like I said earlier, that you have both found the person to build a home with, or that you have found the person who will encourage you to be the King of Pentacles. It's almost like a mirror. I'm just trying to see what is going on. There's so much potential here. The King of Pentacles can sometimes be a warning of being too focused on the material and being too rigid. Maybe it's asking you to find stability without sacrificing the spark from the Three of Cups. It's like, how can you build wealth without becoming greedy? Or how can you accept support without losing your independence? This feels important. And going back to the Hematite angel and the balancing energy here, this feels like the universe is supporting you in finding that balance between security and freedom, between stability and passion, between tradition and innovation. The Hematite angel is here to make sure you find balance as you create this foundation. It's very important to consider here. You don't want to go too far in either direction. You don't want to ignore the need for security, and you don't want to get bogged down in tradition either. Wow, this is really shaping up to be something special. The King of Pentacles is adding a whole new layer of depth and complexity to this connection, and I'm so excited to see what the next card reveals. What is the area that needs the most balance? What is the next step in building this beautiful foundation while honoring both individuals? What is the secret ingredient? Okay, let's pull the next card and find out. Okay, so there's soul's recognition of yours. And now we have the King of Swords. Wow, this is like a whole different energy coming into the mix, isn't it? Okay, so the King of Swords, he's all about like intellect and truth and clarity and cutting through the BS. He's not afraid to speak his mind, and he values honesty above everything else. He's like the ultimate rational thinker, very logical, very clear, and very decisive. So like on his own, the King of Swords can be a bit intimidating, right? He's not always the warmest and fuzziest guy, He can be a bit detached, a bit critical, even a bit cold sometimes. But he's also incredibly fair and he always strives to do what's right, even if it's not easy. He's the kind of person you want on your side when you need someone to make a tough decision, or when you need someone to tell you the truth, even if it hurts. Like, he's not going to sugarcoat anything, he's going to give it to you straight. But it's coming from a place of integrity and a desire to help you see things clearly. He represents a very strong, almost unshakable moral code. I'm really wondering how this king is playing into the rest of the cards here. So we've got the Hierophant, right, which is all about tradition and structure. And then we have the Three of Cups, which is all about joy and connection. Then the Four of Wands, building a foundation. And the King of Pentacles, stability and security. And now this King of Swords. It's like, how does all of this fit together? Like, where is this going? Okay, so let's start with the Hierophant and the King of Swords. So the Hierophant is all about tradition, right? And the King of Swords is all about truth. So like, what happens when those two energies come together? I think maybe this is showing that there's a need to question some of those traditions. To look at them with a critical eye and to ask like, are these traditions still serving us? Are they still aligned with our values? Or are they just things we're doing because that's how they've always been done? The King of Swords isn't afraid to challenge the status quo. He's not afraid to speak truth to power. So maybe this is a call to be a little bit more rebellious, a little bit more questioning when it comes to those established structures. It's like, okay, we respect these traditions, but are they really working for us? Are they really in our best interests? There might be a need to, like, break free from some of those constraints and create your own path. It's not about throwing everything out the window. It's about being intentional about what you keep and what you let go of. This card is asking for honest, intellectual honesty. Like, are you really happy with this situation? Or are you just going along with it because it's easier? And it's not just about you, but your partner. Are they truly happy? Are you both living up to your potential? It's time to really look at things critically, even if it's uncomfortable. This king may be telling you to find your voice. Now, let's look at the Three of Cups and the King of Swords. So, the Three of Cups is all about joy and connection, right? And the King of Swords is all about truth and clarity. So, how do those two energies work together? I think maybe this is saying that honesty is key to maintaining that joyful connection. Like, you can't have a truly fulfilling relationship if you're not being honest with each other. If you're hiding things, or if you're not communicating openly, then that joy is going to fade away. The King of Swords is urging you to be upfront, to be direct, to say what's on your mind, even if it's difficult. It may be that you both avoid conflict, and the King of Swords is asking you to be willing to speak up so that there is true freedom. But it's not just about being honest, it's also about being clear. The King of Swords is all about cutting through the confusion and getting to the heart of the matter. So maybe there's a need to clarify your intentions, to define your boundaries, to make sure you're both on the same page about what you want from this relationship. And again, respect is a huge part of this, so you can speak honestly without being rude or hurtful. It's about finding that balance between honesty and compassion, because that is what true connection is all about. Okay, and then the Four of Wands and the King of Swords. So the Four of Wands is about building a home and a foundation, right? And the King of Swords is about truth and clarity. So how does that play out? I think this is saying that you need to build your foundation on a foundation of truth. You can't build a stable home if you're not being honest with each other about your needs, your desires, and your expectations. The King of Swords is urging you to have those tough conversations, to address any underlying issues, to clear the air so that you can build something truly lasting. It's like, okay, we want to build this home together, but what does that really look like? What are our non-negotiables? What are we willing to compromise on? You need to get really clear on those things before you can start laying the bricks. Maybe you have different ideas about what a home looks like, or where you want to live, or how you want to raise your family. The King of Swords is saying, let's talk about it. Let's get it all out on the table so that we can make sure we're building something that works for both of us. It also feels like that truth extends to your own individual needs. The Four of Wands is about two people coming together, but you are still two separate people. It's important to be honest about what you need as an individual, so you can create a home that supports both of you. It's about finding that balance between togetherness and independence. And then, the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords. Oh, this is interesting. So the King of Pentacles is about stability and security, right? And the King of Swords is about intellect and truth. So how do those two energies interact? I think this is where it gets really interesting, because these two kings can be very different energies. The King of Pentacles is all about being practical and grounded, while the King of Swords is more focused on intellect and logic. So maybe there's a potential for conflict there. Like, maybe one of you is more focused on the material aspects of the relationship, while the other is more focused on the intellectual or emotional aspects. Or maybe one of you is more stubborn and set in their ways, while the other is more open to new ideas and perspectives. The King of Swords can sometimes see the King of Pentacles as being too rigid, too focused on tradition, and too resistant to change. He might think, okay, we've built this stable foundation, but are we really living up to our potential? Are we really challenging ourselves to grow and evolve? The King of Pentacles, on the other hand, might see the King of Swords as being too idealistic, too detached from reality, and too quick to criticize. He might think, okay, we need to be practical here. We need to focus on what's real and what's achievable, and stop getting caught up in all these intellectual debates. It feels like the soul recognition here is understanding that both energies are needed. The grounded stability of the King of Pentacles provides a safe space for the King of Swords to explore new ideas and push boundaries. And the intellectual clarity of the King of Swords helps the King of Pentacles to see things from a different perspective and to avoid getting stuck in a rut. It's about finding that balance between practicality and idealism, between tradition and innovation, between stability and growth. But it requires constant communication and a willingness to see each other's point of view. It requires respect, a core theme of the reading, and a key to the soul recognition. This is the area where you can really connect, by respecting the other person's approach to life. Overall, the King of Swords is bringing a much-needed dose of honesty and clarity to this connection. It's urging you to question traditions, to communicate openly, to build your foundation on a foundation of truth, and to find a balance between practicality and idealism. And going back to the Hematite angel and the balancing energy here, this feels like the universe is supporting you in finding that balance between truth and compassion, between intellect and emotion, between tradition and innovation. The Hematite is there to really help you integrate this energy, to create a relationship that is both stable and stimulating, both secure and fulfilling. It is about truly seeing each other and building mutual respect for those differences. This King of Swords is not here to tear things down. He is here to help you build something stronger, something more authentic, and something more aligned with your true selves. He is asking both of you to be brave. Wow, this is really getting deep, isn't it? The King of Swords is adding a whole new layer of complexity and challenge to this connection, and I'm so excited to see what the next card reveals. Like, what's the final piece of the puzzle? What's the ultimate message that the universe wants you to know about this soul recognition? Okay, so there's soul's recognition of yours. And we have the Hanged Man. Whoa, okay, this is a big one. This is like a total perspective shift, you know? Like, it's all about surrender, release, seeing things from a different angle, letting go of control, things like that. It's like when you're hanging upside down, everything looks different, right? So it's about embracing that different perspective and seeing what you can learn from it. It's about pausing, and reflecting. It's not about being stuck, but more like choosing to wait, choosing to see before acting. And it can feel uncomfortable, right? Like, hanging upside down isn't exactly the most comfortable position to be in. But it's through that discomfort that we can gain new insights and new understanding, new patience. So, how does this hanged man energy play into everything else we've seen so far? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so first, let's look at the Hierophant and the hanged man. The Hierophant is all about tradition and structure, right? And the hanged man is all about surrendering those structures. So, I think maybe this is showing that there's a need to question those traditions, like really question them. To ask yourself, like, are these traditions really serving you? Are they really aligned with your values? Or are you just following them because that's what you've always done? Maybe it's time to, break free from some of those constraints, or at least to loosen them up a little bit. It doesn't mean throwing everything away, but it means being willing to look at things differently, from a new perspective. Maybe the traditions you've been following aren't actually your traditions. Maybe they're your family's traditions or your community's traditions, but they don't really resonate with your soul. The hanged man is asking you to, step outside of those structures and see what feels true for you. It's almost like the Hierophant is the map, and the hanged man is saying, okay, but what if we turn the map upside down? What if we look at it from a completely different angle? What if the soul recognition is about seeing the beauty and wisdom in unconventional paths? The hanged man can also represent sacrifice, and it may be that you need to sacrifice some of those traditions in order to move forward. And it may be that you need to sacrifice your expectations, too. Like maybe you thought things were going to go a certain way, but the universe has other plans. The hanged man is asking you to surrender to those plans, even if they're not what you expected. Maybe it's not about giving up entirely, but about surrendering your need to control the outcome. This card is asking you, what are you willing to give up in order to gain something greater? Maybe you are ready to give up an old belief or an old pattern that is keeping you stuck. Now, let's look at the Three of Cups and the Hanged Man. So the Three of Cups is all about joy and connection, right? And the Hanged Man is about pausing and reflecting. So how do those two energies work together? I think maybe this is showing that there's a need to take a step back from all the fun and excitement and really evaluate what's going on. To ask yourself, are these connections truly fulfilling? Are they bringing you genuine joy? Or are they just distractions from something deeper? It's like maybe you've been so busy celebrating and connecting with others that you haven't taken the time to connect with yourself. The Hanged Man is urging you to retreat, to go inward, to listen to your own intuition. It's not about isolating yourself completely, but about creating space for self-reflection and self-discovery. Maybe it's about redefining what joy and connection mean to you. Like maybe you thought that joy meant always being surrounded by people, but the Hanged Man is showing you that joy can also be found in solitude, in stillness, in contemplation. Maybe the soul recognition is about finding joy within yourself, rather than seeking it from external sources. The Hanged Man might be asking you to pause and reevaluate the friendships in your life. Are they reciprocal? Are they supportive? Or are they draining your energy? It might be time to release some of those connections, or at least to create some healthy boundaries. Because it is time to really focus on your own needs, even if it means sacrificing some of that social time. You might need to sacrifice some friendships to make room for deeper, more meaningful connections. Or to deepen the relationship you have with yourself. Okay, and then the Four of Wands and the Hanged Man. So the Four of Wands is about building a home and a foundation, right? And the Hanged Man is about surrendering that foundation. So how does that play out? I think maybe this is saying that there's a need to let go of some of your expectations about what a home and a foundation should look like. To be willing to embrace a different kind of stability, a different kind of security. It's like maybe you thought that a home had to be a physical place, a house with a white picket fence, but the Hanged Man is showing you that a home can also be a state of mind, a feeling of inner peace, a sense of belonging within yourself. The Hanged Man is urging you to release your attachment to material possessions and to focus on building a foundation of inner strength and resilience. It's not about abandoning your dreams of having a home, but about redefining what that means to you. Maybe it's about creating a nomadic lifestyle where you travel the world and find a sense of home wherever you go. Or maybe it's about creating a minimalist home where you only surround yourself with things that truly bring you joy. The soul recognition is about finding stability within yourself rather than seeking it from external sources. Maybe you need to sacrifice some of your material possessions to gain a deeper sense of freedom and inner peace. It may be a sign to release your expectations of what this relationship should bring, and instead find peace with whatever the outcome may be. Let go of the expectations and find freedom in the journey. And then, the King of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. Ooh, this is interesting. So the King of Pentacles is about stability and security, right? And the Hanged Man is about surrendering that stability and security. So how do those two energies interact? I think this is where it gets really challenging, because these two energies are almost diametrically opposed. The King of Pentacles is all about control and mastery, while the Hanged Man is all about surrender and release. So maybe there's a need to let go of some of that control, to be willing to embrace uncertainty, to trust that the universe has your back, even when things feel chaotic. The Hanged Man is showing you that true security comes from within, not from external sources. It's about trusting your own intuition, your own inner guidance, to lead you to where you need to be. Maybe the soul recognition is about learning to find peace in the midst of chaos. The Hanged Man is also asking you to sacrifice your need to be in control, to surrender to the flow of life, to trust that everything is happening for a reason. It may be hard to let go of that financial or emotional stability that the King of Pentacles craves, but it is so vital. The universe may be bringing more abundance to your life, but you need to release control to receive it. And then, the King of Swords and the Hanged Man. Oh, wow. So the King of Swords is about intellect and truth, right? And the Hanged Man is about surrendering to a new perspective. So how does that play out? I think this is where it gets really interesting. The King of Swords is all about logic and reason, but the Hanged Man is about intuition and feeling. So maybe there's a need to step outside of your head and into your heart. To trust your intuition, even when it doesn't make sense logically. To be willing to see things from a different perspective, even if it challenges your beliefs. The Hanged Man is urging you to let go of your need to be right and to open yourself up to new possibilities. It's about surrendering your attachment to your own thoughts and beliefs and being willing to consider alternative viewpoints. This connection, the soul recognition, might be calling you to let go of needing to be in control or needing to be right. It is time to surrender to the flow and trust your path. Overall, the Hanged Man is bringing a much-needed dose of surrender and perspective to this connection. It's urging you to question traditions, to reevaluate your connections, to redefine your home, to let go of control, and to trust your intuition. And going back to the Hematite angel and the balancing energy here, this feels like the universe is supporting you in finding that balance between action and inaction, between control and surrender, between logic and intuition. The Hematite is there to really help you integrate this energy, to create a relationship that is both grounded and expansive, both stable and fluid. The soul recognition may be about patience. It is about trusting that everything is unfolding perfectly, even when you can't see the whole picture. Wow, this is really getting deep, isn't it? The Hanged Man is adding a whole new layer of complexity and challenge to this connection, and I'm so excited to see what the next card reveals. Like, what's the final message? What's the ultimate takeaway? Let's find out. Okay, so there's soul's recognition of yours. And we have death. Whoa, okay. This is a big one, right? Like death, it's not usually what people want to see, but it's not what you think. It's all about transformation, endings, and new beginnings, like a real clearing out of the old to make way for the new. It's like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, you know. It's about releasing what no longer serves you so that you can step into your power, your true self. It can be a little scary, right? Endings often are, but ultimately, it's about growth. It means something has to end for you to move on. So how does this death card fit in with everything else we've seen so far? Okay, so first, let's look at the Hierophant and the death card. The Hierophant is all about tradition and structure, right? And the death card is about, breaking free from those structures, or at least transforming them. So maybe this is showing that there's a need to let go of some of those old traditions and beliefs that are holding you back. Maybe the way you've always done things just isn't working anymore, It's time to question those established systems and see if they're really aligned with who you are now. Are you living your life according to someone else's rules, or are you creating your own path? The death card is urging you to, shed those old skins, those old identities, and step into a new way of being. Maybe it's about leaving a job that's no longer fulfilling, or ending a relationship that's run its course, or moving to a new city, a new state, a new country even. Or maybe it's not something that drastic, Maybe it's just about changing your mindset, your perspective, your approach to life. Maybe you've always been a people pleaser, and the death card is saying it's time to put yourself first, Or maybe you've always been afraid of taking risks, and the death card is saying it's time to step outside of your comfort zone. The soul recognition may be about the need to release old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve you, so you can start to find true purpose. Like a spiritual awakening, or you have finally found the path you are meant to be on. It feels very big. Okay, now let's look at the Three of Cups and the Death card. So the Three of Cups is all about joy and connection, right? And the Death card is about endings. So, how do those two energies work together? Does this mean a friendship is ending? Maybe it is. But maybe it's more about transforming your relationships, your connections with others. Maybe it's time to release some of those superficial friendships and focus on building deeper, more meaningful connections with the people who really get you. The Death card is urging you to, be honest with yourself about who you want in your life and who you don't. It's about letting go of the people who drain your energy, the people who don't support your growth, the people who aren't truly there for you. It doesn't mean you have to, have a big dramatic breakup with these people, It can be as simple as just gradually distancing yourself, focusing your energy on other things, and letting the relationship fade away naturally. Or maybe it does mean having a difficult conversation, setting some boundaries, and making it clear that you're no longer willing to tolerate certain behaviors. It might mean stepping away from a toxic group of friends. The universe has someone better in store for you. It's about making space for the people who truly lift you up, the people who inspire you, the people who make you feel like your best self. This card is asking you to cut away the dead weight, the friendships that have run their course. Okay, and then the Four of Wands and the Death card. So the Four of Wands is about building a home and a foundation, right? And the Death card is about endings and transformation. So how does that play out? Does this mean you are losing your home? Again, not necessarily literally. It could be more about transforming your idea of home, or about creating a new foundation for yourself. Maybe it's time to move to a new place, to downsize, to redecorate, to create a space that truly reflects who you are now. The Death card is urging you to release your attachment to material possessions and to focus on creating a home that feels nurturing and supportive to your soul. It's about letting go of the things that no longer bring you joy, the things that clutter your space and your mind, the things that are holding you back from living your best life. Maybe it's about getting rid of all the clothes you never wear, or donating the furniture you don't like, or clearing out the junk drawer that's been overflowing for years. Or maybe it's something bigger, like selling your house and moving into a tiny home, or traveling the world and living out of a backpack. The universe wants to create a sense of freedom and flexibility in your home life. Whatever the case, the Death card is saying it's time to create a space that truly nourishes your soul and supports your growth. It's about creating a sanctuary, a place where you can relax, recharge, and be yourself, fully and completely. You may have to destroy an old idea of home to realize what it means to you now. And then, the King of Pentacles and the Death card. Ooh, this is interesting. So the King of Pentacles is about stability and security, right? And the Death card is about endings and transformation. So, how do those two energies interact? Does this mean you are losing financial stability? No, not necessarily. Maybe it's more about transforming your relationship with money and security. Maybe it's time to release your attachment to material possessions and to focus on creating a sense of inner security that doesn't depend on external circumstances. You know, the Death card is urging you to, redefine what security means to you. Is it about having a lot of money in the bank? Or is it about having a strong sense of self-worth, a supportive community, a deep connection to your soul? Maybe it's about changing your career path, or starting a new business, or taking a leap of faith and pursuing your passion. It's about trusting that the universe will support you, even when things feel uncertain. The soul recognition might be about releasing your fear of lack and embracing a mindset of abundance. It might be time to, let go of some of those financial fears that are holding you back and to trust that you'll always have what you need. The Death card is about making sure that you are in alignment with your values. If you don't need as much money, what would you do with your time? And then the King of Swords and the Death card. Oh, wow, so the King of Swords is about intellect and truth, right? And the Death card is about transformation. So how does that play out? Does this mean you are going through some kind of mental transformation? Yes, a huge one. Maybe it's time to release some of those limiting beliefs that are holding you back and to embrace a new way of thinking. You know, the Death card is urging you to, question everything you thought you knew, to challenge your assumptions, to open your mind to new possibilities. It's about letting go of your need to be right and to embrace a more flexible, open-minded approach to life. It might be about changing the way you communicate with others, being more honest, more direct, more compassionate. Or maybe it's about changing the way you see yourself, being more forgiving, more accepting, more loving. The soul recognition is about releasing old thought patterns that no longer serve you and embracing a new level of intellectual freedom. Like you can finally speak your truth. You are not the same person you used to be. This may be hard for others to accept, especially the people you are closest to. The universe may be asking you to be brave and trust your new self, and accept whatever consequences may come. Overall, the Death card is bringing a powerful message of transformation and renewal to this connection. It's urging you to release what no longer serves you, to embrace change, and to step into your power. And going back to the Hematite angel and the balancing energy here, this feels like the universe is supporting you in finding that balance between holding on and letting go, between tradition and innovation, between security and freedom. The Hematite is there to really help you integrate this energy and to create a relationship that is both stable and transformative, both grounded and expansive. This soul recognition seems to be that transformation is necessary. A phoenix has to burn to be reborn. Wow, this is really getting intense, isn't it? The Death card is adding a whole new layer of depth and complexity to this connection, and I'm so excited to see what the next card reveals. What's the final piece of the puzzle? What's the ultimate message that the universe wants you to know about this soul recognition? I am so curious. Let's pull the final card. Okay, so there's soul's recognition of yours. And we have the King of Wands. Yes. Oh, I love this. Okay, so the King of Wands, he is all about, passion and vision and leadership and just, taking charge. He's the kind of person who knows what he wants and he's not afraid to go after it. He's got this infectious energy, you know. He inspires others to believe in themselves and to follow their dreams. He's not just a dreamer, though, he's a doer. He takes action, he makes things happen, and he's not afraid to take risks. He's like, I've got this, let's go. This feels like the perfect culmination of everything we've seen so far. All those other cards were leading you to this point, to this moment of empowered action and authentic self-expression. Okay, so let's break it down, right? How does this King of Wands energy integrate with all the other cards we've pulled? So first, we have the Hierophant and the King of Wands. Remember, the Hierophant is all about tradition and structure, right? So how does the King of Wands play into that? Well, I think this is saying that you're ready to break free from those old traditions and create your own path. You've learned the rules, you understand the system, but now you're ready to bend them or even break them to align with your own unique vision. It's like, okay, I respect the past, but I'm not going to let it define me. I'm going to create my own future. It's about taking the best of what you've learned from tradition and using it to fuel your own passion and creativity. The King of Wands says that you can lead the way. No more following, this is about forging your own destiny. And then, we have the Three of Cups and the King of Wands. The Three of Cups is all about joy and connection, right? So the King of Wands takes that joy and shares it with the world. He's not just happy himself, he wants to spread that joy to everyone around him. He's like, let's celebrate. Let's create something amazing together. It's about using your passion and creativity to connect with others, to build a community of like-minded souls who are all working towards a common goal. It could be a team, a group of friends, or a movement. You are inspiring others to join you, and there is so much joy in sharing that passion with others. This isn't a solo mission, this is a collaborative creation. And then, the Four of Wands and the King of Wands. The Four of Wands is about building a home and a foundation, right? So the King of Wands takes that foundation and builds something extraordinary on top of it. He's not content with just a stable home. He wants to create a space where his dreams can flourish. He's like, let's build something amazing. Let's create a space where we can all thrive. It's about using your passion and creativity to build a life that truly reflects who you are. That might be literally building a home, designing a space, or renovating a room. It could be starting a business that aligns with your values, or creating a community project that benefits others. The King of Wands creates a home for his dreams and the dreams of others. Okay, and then the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands. The King of Pentacles is about stability and security, right? So the King of Wands takes that stability and turns it into inspired action. He's not content with just being comfortable. He wants to use his resources to make a difference in the world. He's like, okay, I've got the foundation, now let's build something meaningful. Let's use our resources to create positive change. It's about using your financial security, your practical skills, and your grounded energy to fuel your passion and creativity. Maybe that means investing in a new business, supporting a cause you believe in, or using your skills to help others in need. Maybe you can finally start that passion project you have been thinking about. And then, the King of Swords and the King of Wands. The King of Swords is about intellect and truth, right? So the King of Wands takes that truth and uses it to lead with integrity. He's not afraid to speak his mind, but he always does it with compassion and respect. He's like, let's be honest. Let's communicate clearly and effectively. Let's use our words to inspire and empower. It's about using your intellectual abilities, your communication skills, and your commitment to truth to guide others towards a better future. Maybe that means becoming a mentor, a teacher, or a public speaker. This could be assigned to be your own boss. You will inspire others. You might want to write a book. And then, the Hanged Man and the King of Wands. The Hanged Man is about surrendering and seeing things from a new perspective, right? So the King of Wands takes that new perspective and turns it into action. He's not afraid to challenge the status quo, to think outside the box, to try new things. He's like, let's see things differently. Let's embrace change. Let's be open to new possibilities. It's about using your unique insights, your willingness to surrender control, and your ability to see the bigger picture to create innovative solutions and to inspire others to do the same. Let that inspiration guide the way. And finally, the Death card and the King of Wands. Death is about transformation, right? So the King of Wands takes that transformation and steps into his power. The King of Wands, fueled by the transformational power of death, is an unstoppable force. He knows who he is and what he wants, and he's not afraid to go after it because he is not afraid of change. He's like, let's embrace change. Let's release the old and step into the new. Let's transform our lives and create something amazing. It's about using your newfound sense of self, your understanding of the cyclical nature of life, and your willingness to let go of the past to create a future that is aligned with your soul's purpose. The King of Wands has gone through the fire, and emerged stronger than ever. He has released the old patterns, the old beliefs, and the old identities that were holding him back, and he is now ready to fully embrace his true potential. The soul recognition has been fulfilled. The soul's true purpose is now clear. And going back to the Hematite angel and the balancing energy here, this feels like the universe is supporting you in finding that balance between passion and stability, between vision and practicality, between leadership and collaboration. The Hematite is there to really help you integrate all of these energies, to create a life that is both fulfilling and sustainable, both exciting and grounded. The energy is making sure you remain balanced as you lead the way. This whole reading has been about recognizing your own power, your own potential, and your own unique gifts. The soul recognition has been a journey, a process of self-discovery and self-acceptance. And now, with the King of Wands, you are ready to step into your true role, your true calling, and to share your light with the world. You have everything you need to succeed. You have the passion, the vision, the leadership skills, and the support of the universe. All you need to do is believe in yourself, trust your intuition, and take action. The King of Wands is the ultimate yes card. He represents your potential, your power, and your ability to create the life you desire. So go out there and be a King of Wands. Embrace your passion, lead with integrity, and create a world that is filled with joy, inspiration, and love. The universe is waiting for you.